Yep, you good.
Yes, sir. We are here. We are here on time.
Kind of,
Couple late.
kind of,
Appreciate
kind
it.
of.
How you feeling, brother? Old man.
Man, I am surely alive and blessed and happy to be here. That's how I'm feeling. And slightly whooped.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks ago was my birthday. We had the birthday episode. One thing that Norwood and I get along with is we figured out we have similar personalities because we were born 2 weeks apart. Well, a year and 2 weeks
Absolutely.
apart. So
Correct.
my
Oh
man's
man.
birthday is today, April 14th. Feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, man. It has been one sure hell of a weekend.
You
Feels
sound like
good to pod, but I am also yeah, recovery is different these days. It's very different these days.
yeah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all almost got this pod tomorrow because, but times have changed, and
Hey
I got a
man, we
babysitter.
fight
I
through.
was
We
like,
got a
bro,
job to do. We do the job. We leave when the job is done.
I said, bro, we can't. I got a babysitter tonight.
Right.
I said,
We make decisions, adult decisions. And we
that's
listen,
true. We got it.
we listen to our bodies and we listen to babysitters. And that is the reason tonight Reggie gonna do most of the point, y'all. Where I'm in this car, but I'm on the passenger side, my boy.
Oh man, well y'all know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We do Monday Night Raw. We do the mic check, previously known as the pregame. I like both of the names, but it's literally a mic check. Like we are out here making sure
Yep,
all the
check the
levels are
mics. And if the mics ain't working, tell us.
right. Yeah, y'all get in the chat. We appreciate y'all. Leave us a comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. I'm gonna do that at the beginning of every segment because we appreciate y'all even joining us, spending your time Monday night with us, man. So y'all know what it is. On Mic Check, we do baseball, basically non-basketball, non-football, non-HBCU. So we try to encompass everything else: baseball, hockey, golf, tennis, anything. So we're gonna start out with the Masters of baseball. You want to do Braves? I just kind of
Let,
threw it up there.
yeah, we can do a little Bravo talk.
So the Braves, after a 1-9 start, are now 4-11. And let me tell you, we got our second win this weekend when we had a 4-hour rain delay and they did not call it. I was like, oh, Braves desperate. We gonna play this game. We up. We not calling no rain delay.
Mm-mm.
And
Not a chance.
let me
Not a chance.
and we had people out there in Atlanta, just like in other places, kind of believe in the juju. Now this man dressed up as Marcell Ozuna because the first time he did it, Marcell hit a home run. So he dressed up as Marcell Ozuna, full uniform.
Put him
Uh,
on the roster. Put him
I'm
on
sorry,
the
a
roster.
metropolitan. Go ahead.
We need this man. I don't care what we do. The thing that matters to me more than anything is winning baseball games. If you have to offer this man season tickets, and I'm not talking about season tickets for the Atlanta Braves, I'm talking about a season's worth of tickets. If he needs to travel with us, y'all need to put him on the roster as the mascot. Blooper.
He looked like East Atlanta
Respect.
Marcell Ozuna.
Right. Blooper. Ton of respect. But if this man is going to win us games, dog, you have to take the year off. And I mean that from the bottomest of my heart. I'd rather win than have a mascot. I don't care. Shout out to this guy for not leaving. Because without you,
So
none of this would be possible.
12:54 a.m., bro. The game started at 7.
That's
We had a
also
4-hour rain
commitment
delay.
to the greatest fans in the world. Shout out to the Bravos. If you're not Bravo gang, you can go to hell, honestly.
Yeah, man. He's got the neon sleeve.
Whatever it takes.
he's got
Whatever it
he's got
takes.
everything going on, man. Couple other Braves news before we move on, man. We do get Spencer Strider back. I think he's supposed to be back this week. Needed.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
We are supposed to now we are gonna speaking of Marcell Ozuna, Marcell actually is gonna miss the Toronto series, the series that started today. We're currently up in the 8th inning. Um,
Let me cut this off. I see what happened when I start caring. You went from 8-1 to 8-3. The juju is way too important for us to play with it. Pause. If applicable, I just want wins, and if that means that I cannot watch the score, then I won't.
we won't watch the game. Hey, shout out to
Hey,
baby Kyra stuff back there.
shout out to my Gators. Hey, you have to be committed to helping your team win, and that means sometimes you can't be selfish. Maybe I can't watch the game.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It
I'm
is
gonna
what
tell
it
you
is.
right now, I will not watch any Florida Gator game this year. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to be stuck with Billy Napier, but I would like to win. I talked to my dad today because, of course, my birthday. He's like, "Yeah, I think it's time, Billy, to go." I was like, "Yeah, when my dad is sick of you, it's time for you to go."
Yeah, your dad of that generation. They don't even really support the PWIs. It's really HBCUs
Right?
or players.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I don't think I like that coach. I think it's time for him to go. I was like, "Hey, Billy, when LN2 say it's time for you to go, you better win. You better win."
Shout out to Ron Washington. He was the Braves' former third base and hitting coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Um,
Him and Eric.
who
I say him and Eric are coaching in Anaheim now. Ain't that it? Or
Yeah,
is it
they are
just
now in Anaheim.
LA?
And we said it when they got the job. We said, look, this is probably the best hire that Anaheim could have made. That shows that they're still serious about baseball. And I think that's what kept Mike Trout there, to be honest. Like, I think Ron Washington, I think that was an impressive hire for everybody. And right now, they are number one in their division. They are leading. They've won every series. They have hit the third most home runs, the only AOS team with a positive run differential, and Mike Trout is actually healthy.
Now, they going to be sick if that old black man saved that team. I'm going to tell you that now. They going to be sick. Because we're going to tell them every week. You remember that time that old black man swooped in and saved your whole organization? After being the laughing stock with one of the greatest players in MLB history, never having an opportunity. And then, yep, you just called that old black man. He just came to save the day. Right.
Yeah, two of the greatest players in MLB history. They let one go.
Yeah. he moved on like Maya.
He said, absolutely not. So we did want to send congratulations to Ron Washington, man. Deserved it. And I hope they continue to do well. And if all things go how I would like to see, I would love to see us play each other in the World Series.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be great.
And then also means that they will be whooping the Astros, which makes me feel even better.
As you live in Houston.
Yeah, if you cheat, you're a cheater. And they're the Houston Asterisks from here now and even forevermore.
Yeah, forever. They got to win. Didn't they win again, though? Yeah, they won with Dusty.
Don't care. Don't care. You are all, once you cheat, you're the Asterisks. Respect to Dusty Baker, though, the GOAT.
Yeah. Shout out to talk about this. Is why I think it may be the year for one of my teams going to do something this year. One of my teams going to do something this year because I've noticed a lot of pause if necessary choke artists are overcoming their fears. Roy McIlroy. Dang, that was a terrible intro. But Roy McIlroy.
And ladies and gentlemen, Quick Scope is back. If you haven't seen him in a while, he got out the sniper and buried the lead, and Roy McIlroy finally winning the Masters.
Roy McIlroy,
you use it.
finally completed the career Grand Slam. He got everyone except for the Masters. He won the Masters this year. He had been in the lead on the final day for like 3 or 4 of them, and he had blown the lead every time. This year, 35 years old, gets it done in a playoff where it does sound bad. I'm saying it, but he almost choked this Masters away too. Pause if applicable.
Yeah,
he and apparently you can't talk. You get pause golf conversation. Okay. Just pause. He was up 2 shots on the 18th, on the 17th, and got birdie. So he's up one going on to the 18th, and he bogeyed, missed a 5-foot putt. And I was like, ooh, he going to a playoff, he about to choke. And then he made a fantastic approach on the 18th, and Rose missed by the 3-foot putt. Well, he missed the putt by about 3 feet. Roy had like a 3-foot putt to win it. And then that picture that you see, ladies and gentlemen, right over there, is his reaction. So in all seriousness, I know I joke because there was always that Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods. Like Rory was supposed to overtake Tiger Woods the same way Maria Sharapova was supposed to overtake Serena Williams, and it just they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and it kind of made me not like him. But he's a hell of a golfer, and I am happy he got the career Grand Slam.
Me too. I like to see people get the monkey off their back. He does do things that are not likable. They also talked about him. And at this part, I don't necessarily blame him for, but Bryson DeChambeau said he didn't speak to him the whole final round. Now, I'm not totally against that, especially of a guy who's had a history of tricking things off. I might not be able
to. But they don't like each other, though.
Yeah.
They don't like each other either. No.
Still, I think, but either way, bro, number one, I'm here to beat you. Number two, I might need all of my laser focus. You know how, like, when you're doing your homework and your parents say, hey, if you can talk and do your work, that's fine. But if you're doing too much talking and not enough work, then we're going to stop talking. I think he might have been like, hey, this pressure kind of ratcheted up on me, big dog. You got the monkey off your back. You good. I might not be able to talk to you right now. Maybe in the future we can discuss this and have that discussion over a beer. But at this very moment, no, I probably can't.
Yeah. And you can't even. I don't care if you take it personal or not, big dog. Like, hey,
I'm here to win.
It is what it is.
I'm here to win.
Better respect it or move on. Either way, it don't bother me.
Speaking of respect it or move on, golf fans are upset at Jose Luis Ballesteros' upside down Sun Devils hat. And I'm telling you, if you want, it's refreshing to see somebody other than us get the comments like they were. But golf will tell you they don't like anybody else. If you don't do exactly what they say, they hate you. Number one, these hats have been a thing, and I kind of hate the hat itself. It's kind of, as a person who likes symmetry, it's highly annoying to me to see the hat upside down like this. But I also understand that those dudes have made millions of dollars on the upside down hat thing. And I don't understand why anybody cares. They were like, ban him. He should never be allowed to play again. He should never be invited back to Augusta. He's an amateur. What is this guy doing? This is embarrassing. Stupid hat. And I'm like, y'all will take the fun out of anything. Also, Arizona, they probably thrilled to get this much marketing. Happy to be seen and happy to get all the clicks of, hey, that's a Sun Devil hat, Sun Devil hat, Sun Devil hat everywhere. Golf fans are who we know them to be. They've been consistent.
It's the whole, this to me is colonialism. It goes all the way back to the British Empire. Like where you had things like, and even medieval, like where you had like golf is viewed as the gentlemanly sport. Like Wimbledon, right. They try to make Wimbledon the same thing. If you think about it, Wimbledon is the gentleman's tournament of the tennis of the tennis world, right? So like it's elitism, and when you don't fit the mold that they think you should be in, they don't consider you elite. And with other sports, like they don't consider you elite and they'll just let you lose. Like in golf, they don't consider you elite and you don't follow the rules. They don't want you here. Right. And it don't matter who you are. So
and they make that very clear. Hey, you don't belong here, boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you grew up at Augusta National. Yeah. So, hey,
Oh
man,
no,
but
you're not
hey,
talking to me like that either. I put hands and feet on you first. My daddy named
but
Lester.
Jose Luis, man, keep wearing the hat. I've been actually trying. We're trying to source out some Splashcast and Dive Team hats, and that's one of my ideas. So, uh, keep going, man. Keep going. And
And let him
finally,
be mad. Let him be mad. Let him
yeah,
be mad.
I hope he win it. I hope he win it. To
Right.
be honest. But finally, King Griffey Jr. They made there was a big deal about players after sports, and King Griffey Jr. is the latest baseball player to take on photography, and he was actually a photographer for the 2025 Masters, which is a great accomplishment because it's really, really hard to get into the Masters as anything golfer, spectator, press. Like the credentials are difficult to get.
I have a friend who's banned from the Masters. Funny story.
Of course
Uh
you
hey, you can't yell at Tiger. That will surely get you banned from a place that loves to ban people.
do.
Congratulations to King Griffey Jr. Him and Randy Johnson, second act as photographers, is dope as hell. And I mean, he got some really good shots. He's not out there just a guy with the camera that's rich. Nah, he's a professional. And
People are
him and
buying his
Randy
photography.
Johnson, yeah. Him and Randy Johnson are kicking ass at this. I love to see athletes find a new passion, especially after, it's kind of tough to get into something that keeps you kind of going. And he's taking off with this thing. So congratulations, have him back, and hopefully he does more sporting events.
Yeah,
And I need
man.
to find his
Yeah, man.
page.
And
Randy
he's gonna
Johnson has
bring
Randy got a good
like,
page.
yeah. Yeah, and they're gonna keep doing. They'll bring him back because he also brings people eyes to the sport,
Right.
because he's King Griffey Jr. So, but ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the mic check. Talked about the Braves, talked about some golf. We're gonna take a few seconds, go get us a couple bottles of water, come back, and we're gonna run through HBCU news around the culture. Got a few things we're gonna talk about today, man. Norfolk State, bro. Kudos. We'll be right back.
Y'all under pressure. Y'all are under pressure. Let me tell you, if you don't know, you better find out soon and very soon. With that being said, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are back. Reggie photographing, documenting the journey.
Gotta post, man. Oop. But my bad, y'all. 3, 2, 1, smile. Uh Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 185 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Norwood's birthday. Yeah.
Barely holding on, man. Let me tell you, I may have drank every mimosa in the city of Houston yesterday. Shout out to my sister Shan, showing me a wonderful, fantastic time. And you go out drinking with women, and you drink hibiscus mimosas and lavender mimosas, and then there's a blood orange mimosa, and so yes, place to place to place. And then by the end of the night, you're like, hey, I guess I have an old fashioned for no apparent reason. Boy, talk about hurt.
And you and is that the first end of the night or the second? Because normally when that happens and you start early, you think you done, and then you end up somewhere else.
That was the second. That was the we went out to eat. Then I was like, all right, well, I want to change, and I changed, and then we went back out, and it was like, boy, it was everything at once.
Yes, sir. Well,
and
glad you're here.
Journey,
glad we're here.
To say the least.
I'm glad we're here. I am excited. We got a few things we're gonna talk about. HBCU news around the culture. Let's get into it. You can't tell, I am in a 12-round heavyweight boxing match with that yellow man called Pollen, and I am congested, but we gonna push through. We gonna make it.
Episode 186. Barely holding on.
Ooh, it's definitely 196. My bad. Barely holding on. Let's start out with, we're going to run through these HBCU quick hits until we get to Norfolk State. So first up, North Carolina A&T wins back-to-back cheer championships. Another case of you shouldn't let us in. You didn't let us participate before. You let us play now. And North Carolina A&T has won 2 in a row. And when I tell you they are excited, and shout out to the alum. Shout out to Levon. Shout out to the folks that went to A&T that took their families. The alumni traveled to support this team. Kudos to y'all, man. Congrats.
Yes, congratulations. And once again, bring the band. I don't care. I don't care if it's a cheerleading championship. Bring the damn band. Bring the band. I want y'all to see. Here's so many HBCU bands that you get sick of us. You already stealing the music anyway, LSU. We despicable. But yeah, so bring the band so they know where, at least you should know, you know where it came from. If you're gonna steal it, know you stole it from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to A&T, man. Winston-Salem State wins the inaugural CIAA flag football championship. Happened over the weekend. Fantastic for them. We talked about them a while ago, how they started the CIAA flag football championship, and I believe other leagues are going to follow suit. Very, very, very entertaining. I saw some of the highlights. Hey, man, these women know how to play, dog. They know how to play.
I want every HBCU to have a flag football team. You have at least 16 girls who can play football. It's flags. There's a field, I'm sure. It's cleats and a jersey. Make it happen. We need it.
Yeah, why not? It could be another
low.
It'll be a
low barrier to entry. You don't need some footballs. That's it. And let me tell you, the football. Give them the old footballs that the football team ain't using no more. I don't care. Make it happen for them. Give the ladies the opportunity. They 100% deserve it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 hirings happened. Bobby Rome makes history as the new head coach of Chicago State University. It's their new football program. I believe it's their inaugural season. So he's an HBCU veteran, and now he is leading Chicago State's football program. So shout out to Bobby, man. Go make history.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to Coach Rome. It feels really good to see different HBCU coaches come from different places, go either starting a new program. You're going to be the first guy ever. You'll always be remembered. We also have Coach Huff that just went to Southern Methodist. You got Coach Simmons, who was at FAMU and I think is at Florida in Atlantic now. There are a lot of guys coming from the HBCU ranks who are doing really good.
Yeah, finally getting some respect and some notoriety, man. So again, shout out to Bobby Rome. Speaking of coaches being hired, Patrick Crary was hired as the men's basketball coach at Grambling, which is weird because he was just hired as FAMU's basketball coach last year. I guess it's not weird because of all the turmoil they had, right?
Right. It's congratulations to him, number one. FAMU, the turnover that is going on at your university is surely putting you in a unique position. Y'all are fighting for your lives. Now, with that being said, I guess it makes only perfect sense to go to the next part of this. Kyle O'Quinn retires from pro basketball and returns to NSU as the executive director of the athletic advancement.
Yeah. Norfolk State has been. This might be the best offseason in the history of the MEAC for school. They won the MEAC tournament in basketball, in men's and women's.
Correct.
They hired Mike. They extended the coach for the men's basketball team, who is probably the best coach, till 2032. It's 2025. 7 years. It's unheard of in black schools. They come. We just talked about it. They come and get us when they see talent.
Right.
They hired Michael Vick as the head football coach, who's from Norfolk, from Newport News.
Yeah,
from
please
Norfolk.
don't.
Don't want to get that wrong. From Newport News. He's from Virginia. He's from the Seven Cities. He's back home, and he's already recruiting and getting people, big time players. And now they hire Kyle O'Quinn. You don't know who Kyle O'Quinn is. He is a former Norfolk State basketball player that led them to their first NCAA championship win. They made it to the round of 32 after they knocked off number 2 Missouri as a number 15 seed after winning the MEAC. He is now back as the executive director of athletic advancement. You're starting to see more and more players and former players go back to their schools or go back to their alma maters and take some type of role. With the way that NIL and in sports is now becoming more professional or semi-professional, you're starting to have more professional and semi-professional positions being formed in the athletic department. And this is one of them. He's probably one of the most likable and kind alums from Norfolk State. He's known everywhere, and he's respected in the NBA. So this is a home run hire for me. Home run hire.
This is a war chest of really good assets. If you're the athletic director right now, this is like the equivalent of drafting Caitlin Clark. All my sports are hitting right now. Life is all I got to do is manage, and go seek opportunities to make some money. Where can we get some sponsorship money? Where can we get some NIL money? But I have so many qualified and well-known people. And just by way of, there are going to be a ton of people on campus that you were not getting on campus before. Just wasn't happening.
The notoriety by itself. I mean, you're right.
Hey,
that notoriety is going to be crazy.
I'm going to tell you, heavy is the head. One thing about a car is when it's fast and it's big, you got to control it. You got to manage this car. You got to make sure that you're driving in the right direction. They've given you everything that anybody could ask for. Make hay while the sun shines.
And now it's definitely good. Fam got. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. If you lose that basketball coach, it's the equivalent of they're basically just starting anew. They got a new football coach, new athletic director, new basketball
Yeah,
coach
because you
now.
remember
They just scrubbing it.
Tiffany Dawn Sykes, she's out of there. She went to, I think she's back at Virginia Union, where I think she started her career or something like that. She got to getting once things start going left. And I hate to bring up the whole fake check from graduation, but
why? Y'all fool.
Because you know me, I don't really like
teeth.
him. I don't really like embarrassing our people, but
man, the man said he gonna give y'all $230-something million, and he had no teeth. And not the no teeth where like it's all dentures. He was just missing the 4. You mean you could give me millions of dollars, but you can't get no porcelain teeth?
Right.
No dentures, no nothing.
You could have bought some teeth out of somebody else, man. They would have put them in there.
So yeah, when that came up, I was like,
yeah, I think they took a lot of embarrassment on that. I ain't got no answer for that.
They stepped over it though. They ain't really comment on it either.
I will
say it is what it is.
They are to be in crisis for this long. They've done pretty good about it. The problems have arisen, but they haven't. They've been able to keep on moving forward. And I mean, I don't have any answer for that other than congratulations. Like that ain't the easiest thing to do. And you did it. So I give you credit for it, but they say the Lord gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Well, he believes in y'all. Let me tell you.
Yeah, boy, y'all got some milk and honey on the horizon. I don't know how far the horizon is gonna be.
Help me, Lord, help me, help me. You know how tough it's got to be to go to work and every day it's a new trash can on fire, bro. The money ain't never coming. Oh, this person hate this person. He quit. She didn't quit. Bruh, stop. You have been at work and just like, stop. Everybody stop. Don't move.
Team building. We going on team building.
No, I'm going to whoop somebody's ass. That's going to be the team building. This has gone too far. We are out of control. Yeah, man. Somebody.
No, I mean, no pun intended, but y'all better get it together, fam. It's rough.
Get it together, fam. It's terrible. Ain't true.
But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the HBCU news around the culture. Make sure you remember to like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend. We're going to take our drink break. We're going to go get a drink, beverage, birthday beverages, and we'll be back to talk about some hoops, WNBA, NCAA, not at all, and Hawks and NBA.
Fair enough. Yep, give us about 3 to 5 minutes, get this thing running and rolling, and we'll be right back. Right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are back. We are back.
Got the burp cloth up there, Lord. You know I'm Dan out here, Sean.
That man is a black father. That man
My
is
bad,
a
y'all.
black
Oh
father.
man, we are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our basketball segment of Norwood's birthday episode. You got your drink ready, brother? Margarita. I got the Mar,
A southern
or
blossom.
we can do brewski, whichever
Oh
one
no.
you need me to do.
Southern blossom. Shout out to the Bartesian. That's what I've affectionately named him. Holding it down, making the drinks, making them fantastic and magical. We are
39
here.
of them
Oh yeah.
things.
39. We are at a point now. We say everything other than happy birthday. I didn't seen happy solar return day.
Yeah, that's the Josh shit.
I've seen that.
No, Josh is Womb Liberation Day.
Yes, womb juice liberation day, womb liberation day, happy elliptical day, everything. And I appreciate all the wishes, number one. But
Happy birthday, brother.
yes, the lexicon
Well, you
of
also heard
birthday.
fuck your birthday too.
Yes,
You started
yes,
that tradition.
yes. I enjoyed that one as well. All of them are good because the other alternative is bad. So take your W's where you can get them and get those all the time. With
Yes,
that
sir.
being said,
Salute.
let's actually drink the drink, right?
Yes, sir. Strawberry Marg over here. Just let y'all know.
I ain't gonna lie, this Southern Blossom is really good. That's the thing about it. I'm just tell y'all a little bit about the Bartesian. Shout out to my sister-in-law Tiff for getting me one. It's about finding the right ones with the right capsule, crack cocaine, and that's no game. I mean it. I for sure mean it when I tell you. With that being said, let's start. Let's start with Paige. Let's start with Paige. Paige Buckers has signed a 3-year deal with the Women's Basketball League Unrivaled. She only paid like $350,000, which I think is more than her per year, which is more than her entire rookie contract. Also, really good news. She was drafted first by the Chicago Sky. You're right. That is the same Chicago Sky with Camila Cardoza, with Angel Reese. Excuse me. That's not true. That's Haley Van Lith.
She was drafted by the Dallas Stars.
Stars, correct. Who have Jewel Lloyd, if I remember correctly. But congratulations on being number one. I hit refresh by 18,000 times because it just said on the clock. And I'm like, y'all on the clock that long now. We knew who was going to pick first. So go ahead, get to picking. But congratulations to her also. Haley Van Lith drafted 11 to the Chicago Sky. I'm telling you, women's basketball is about, I don't want to say they're about to be in like, I think this is the beginning of them really taking off to a new stratosphere. Because you already got to be really good because there's just not enough spots. And now the players are so good and gifted.
Well, first off, shout out to women's basketball for paying attention to men's basketball and what not to do. They have created a second stream of income that keeps the players here versus having to go play overseas. By this unrivaled league, they're getting paid 4 times as much as their contracts. So she comes out the gate with 2 jobs. By leaving college and coming into the and declaring for the draft and playing the women's basketball unrivaled league, she has 2 jobs, which is what any person coming out of college will want. And why I say they're doing what the NBA.
You know what's better than 1 job, son? 2 jobs.
That's that Uncle Leotis.
Right.
But when I say they studied NBA and what not to do, I'm going to bring this up every single time because they're doing the exact same thing that he said he proposed. Ice Cube proposed the big 3 be under the NBA umbrella and that you could then incorporate your veterans or incorporate your players that don't. It's basically another umbrella. Like the G League, you have the big 3. with the dynamic of keeping your legends in shape and plugged into basketball while also having the NBA. WNBA took it further and brought unrivaled and took the current players and said you could play in both. And the WNBA was like, cool, like it is what it is. So shout out to women's basketball for learning what not to do because the NBA dropped the ball by not including Ice Cube, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're going to pay for that, I think, at some point. I still don't like that after you made the mistake, you didn't go back and try to fix it. You just left it. And he's called y'all out for not playing ball with him. And Ice Cube is a legend. Yeah, and that's the other part. It is the actual lack of help and assistance with a guy who's trying to help you do something and do it well. I think that this nasty work personally.
It is. Some news out of South Carolina that I was not expecting.
Right. Hold on. You gotta find it. Bear with us. Well, I upload this because I was heartbroken. I could not believe this. When Reggie first did it, I mean, when Reggie first posted in the group, I guess I missed it. And then
I posted
I
it
came
twice.
back. Right. And I was like, ain't no way. And
she is Don's favorite.
My favorite. Y'all, if y'all listen to the show, I talk about it. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to lead anymore. Malaysia Fulali, unfortunately, will be entering the transfer portal, leaving South Carolina. She's probably been she's my favorite player for the last 2 years. I think that she has an undeniable handle. I know that Dawn had some issues with getting her on the floor. I know she was on the second unit. I just love the way she plays basketball. Sometimes you got to go somewhere else for it to work out. We're in full support of her, and wherever she goes, I'm going to be a fan there. What do you have to say, Reg?
Dawn seemed kind of hurt by this. I think she tweeted out a birdie just flew away from the nest. Y'all remember? I think Malaysia Fulali is from South Carolina.
She is.
So to be her to be from South Carolina and leave South Carolina, where the University of South Carolina doesn't really lose their top players. They may lose players that feel like they deserve more playing time that are at the end of the bench. No shade, but because they're just stacked, it's really difficult to get on the floor. Right. And Fulali, for whatever reason, she decided to enter the portal. I'm assuming it's got to be partially financial.
Like, oh no! I know exactly why she left, and this is the reason right here. Tania Latson, yes, is the reason. Tania Latson led the NBA. I mean, not the NBA, the WNBA in scoring last year. And I think that kind of was the nail in the coffin that it's going to be tough for you to get on the floor. And you probably don't want to come with the bench anymore, especially the way that things, are just going right now. I can go somewhere else and play. I hate that this had to happen. If you are going to lose somebody that I love that much on the basketball court, this was an excellent pickup to make things okay. At the end of the day,
I haven't had a chance to say this in a little while. Westlake.
What?
She went to Westlake. She and Raven Johnson, who is the starting point guard for South Carolina. She and Raven Johnson played at Westlake together, and she is now transferring to rejoin her backcourt mate, who I hope to replicate the dominance that they had in high school, where they were the number one team in the nation and won 3 straight state championships.
Well, you're going
Westlake
to death. To
hey, my fault.
And,
be better.
And you're right. I can't be mad. I can't be mad about it. I mean, yeah, you're right. Just create athletes from everywhere. Congratulations, Malaysia, wherever you go, we still in full support. Know that.
Always. Yeah. I think Don will support you too. I don't think Don holds grudges.
Me either. And I mean, for what? She helped you win a championship still. I mean, at the end of the day, we got a chip.
He should have got. I ain't gonna say should have because UConn's UConn, but they made it further this year than I think a lot of people thought.
Right. And this team was number one, you lose all of your stars damn near every year to the WNBA. And then it's just a matter of time before it's just not enough. And I mean that's life sometimes. We get it. Sometimes you need to go somewhere else to get an opportunity. The play style might not be the most conducive for what Malaysia is. And I'd rather see her go somewhere else and be successful otherwise. Like
But
go
also,
find your next opportunity.
this Tanaya Latson signing is big because
Oh my God.
you just
Put y'all
made
on
a
the map.
point. You just made a point that I think is interesting because it's not the case this year. They lose their whole roster to the WNBA every year. This
Right.
year, I don't think they lost anybody. I got to go back and look at the draft. I don't think, other than Fuwali transferring, they may have lost a couple transfers, but I don't think anybody left. I think they got Pow Pow back. I think they got got their front court back.
Right. And now you have a bona fide bucket.
So
bucket. So you're right. You got to find different ways to stockpile assets
next year. It's gonna be scary
yeah.
for y'all next year.
For sure. Speaking of scary next year, the Atlanta Hawks.
You already counting us out?
No,
see the hat? Y'all see the hat?
I'm not counting us out. For sure not. I'm not even really counting us out of the playoff game. The two teams that we play, I'm not gonna say
Hawks talk, ladies and gentlemen. Hawks
yes. I'm not gonna say that we can't win, but it's difficult. But I look at the Celtics and say, sometimes we play the Celtics very well, and then sometimes we don't. I think the Cavs, we split the season with them 2-2.
Yeah.
I think that the Hawks are such a unique team because we've done it before in the past where nobody counted us in and, oh, you're going to lose. And we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if not for Trey stepping on that ref's foot, who knows what happened?
To the finals. Giannis would still be ringless. Yeah, I know what happens. And maybe Chris Paul has the ring. Maybe Atlanta gets the ring. I don't know.
Right.
But I know we would have made the finals.
Right. So I feel like that team, like this team is kind of that. Now, it would be really nice if we had Jalen Johnson. I think
that's next year's team.
Right. I think that's where it gets interesting. Now, there are a couple big things that I do want to highlight because the season is finally over. Trae Young, total assists, 880 assists. Nikola Jokic, 716 assists. James Harden, 687. Tyrese Halliburton, 673. Cade Cunningham, 638. 880 assists.
It's almost 11 assists a game.
Yes. Number one, the 7 years Trae Young's been in the league, he's increased his assists per game every season. That's nuts. You just eventually, by math, you assume, hey, there's no way he can average more assists. He does. This, he's actually done on the lowest usage rate, if I remember correctly, since his rookie year. So that means he's becoming more efficient. So I want to give him a ton of credit for that. Now, I will tell you, because, when we start putting the pod together, I look at these things. These guys in the top 5, Trae, Joker, Harden, Cade, I think all top 10 in turnovers. Yo, Tyrese Halliburton is like, he's not top 50 in turnovers.
Yeah, that's what makes him unique. What makes Halliburton unique is that he'll get you the same amount of assists with 2 turnovers. Like, you'd be like, bruh.
And let's be real.
Had, 4 games in a row, he had 15 and no turnovers.
And let's be real here. Like, Trey is a high turnover guy, but in relation to the assist,
He's cut those down, though.
Yeah, he's like 3-1 now. He's somewhere between 3-1 to 4-1. He's at like 11.2 or something assists, and then like I think 3 turnovers a game. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But Tyrese Halliburton, I had to look on the list. I'm like, okay, where's he at? I got to see where he is because I just assumed everybody. And I hit Control F, and I thought my computer was broke. I said, wait, 50, nowhere to be found. Then you hit more, and then you're like, oh, there he is right there. Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if I'd rather have the 880 assists and more turnovers or the 673 and not. I think I might be okay with the 673.
Well, but I can't believe you turned this into I would have somebody else other than Trey Segment.
No. I like 880 is like, look at that. That's nuts. Having 100 and what, like 54 more?
64.
But yeah, 64. My mom be mad. But I also looked at that like because I had to see. I was like, okay, is everybody gonna be in the same range? How that not turning the ball over is crazy.
Okay, well I'm gonna jump in here because you keep talking about Halliburton in a Trey segment. So I'm gonna take the 880 assists because he's 164 assists more than the next.
You're right.
And his second best player or the best player on the team is not playing.
That's true. You're right. I mean,
he had 880 assists with missing his best player before the All-Star game.
Right. You're not wrong. I'm 100%. You ain't wrong. And I want to be very clear. It's not a Trey segment. I just got into my basketball nerd thing for a minute. That's it.
I'm taking the 880 assists. I'm taking because the 3-1 turnover, assist to turnover, the assists are so high.
Right.
But that also and the fact that he's getting more efficient is scary. If he could just figure something
and
out.
I will say that even though he may be top 5 in turnovers, he keeps the Hawks out of a lot of turnovers. And this was supposed to be the season, but because his usage rate is down, they expected the turnovers to kind of skyrocket because you got more people handling the ball. You got Dyson, who's quietly not a terrible backup point guard. Hey, David Griffin, we finna get to you in a second, boy. You deserve to be fired. You deserve to be fired. Speaking of Dyson, who we said was not a bad backup point guard, fantastic defender. 229 steals. Next closest person, Shea, with 131. Chris Dunn, former Atlanta Hawk, with 128. Joker playing in passing lanes at 127, and Keon Ellis at 121. 229.
Be saying like, what y'all doing in Atlanta? We have the most assists and the most steals. We have technically supposed to have the best backcourt in the league. That's best backcourt in the league, worthy.
The thing, like, this is the scary part. These are the things that get people fired. We're gonna talk about David Griffin and reason. And yeah, when you have a lot of things and we're still we would go 40 and 42. Like our records over the last like 4 years have been right there. Like we are, and I swear I appreciate this. Having struggling through years with the Gators where it's been terrible. A mid-team ain't always the worst thing. I complained about not having shoes until I met a man with no feet. Let me tell you, I do not want to be in the cellar. But if it continues the mediocrity and realistically, think about what we're looking at next season. I'm going to go ahead. We can kind of go ahead and move this into the next season conversation of Onyeka Okongwu, after taking over at the starting position, has played out of his mind.
Okay, you said a lot. We jumped from assist to steal. So Dyson is scary. Yes. Backup point guard.
Why do you have me drinking?
Because it's your birthday, and you would have called me all types of names in public if I didn't drink on my birthday, and you did.
You're right.
Y'all actually, y'all started a tradition of drinking on my birthday without me.
because you always get lost, and that's fine. That is more than fine.
For different reasons, but yeah, similar outcome. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, uh, Dyson Daniels and Trey. Uh, it's just the front court, and the thing is, I just need Onyeka Okongwu to be a four, or I need him to go take the Scottie Pippen drugs or the deer antler spray or whatever and grow from 6'8" to 6'11". That's all I need you to do. Because if he's 6'11", Okongwu is a top 5 center in the league.
The middle, yeah, and that's where I think we're gonna run it back, which I know is scary to a lot of people because that seems to be kind of the running theme in Atlanta at the end of most seasons is, all right, well, we're gonna run it back with basically this team. Then we get to somewhere in the season and it's like, oh, this ain't working. So we start selling off people. And many times we sell them off for a massive loss. Now, here recently, I think we've done a better job about that. And I want to give Landry Fields credit because after we paid through the nose for DeJounte, we got a decent amount of that back, and getting Dyson back, that makes things way more palatable. And we got a first round pick.
Yeah, you got arguably the defensive player of the year back in the trade.
Right, but we gave away like 3
in a year where they traded Anthony Davis.
Right, but what I'm saying is, now that's the other part is we did give away, I think, 3 draft picks for him first, which is tough. But if you tell me that I can turn 3 draft picks into what I think to be a very affordable starter and another pick, a decent pick.
So I was like, we lost on that trade, but only because we gave up the 3rd first round draft pick. If it was 2, right, we came out.
Yeah, you win, and that's where it's like, wasn't great, but Dyson playing this good, and he's probably still going to be on, what do you think, maybe $20-25 million a year contract?
I would sign him tomorrow for sure. I think
he can sign right now.
I don't know if I do. I want to applaud Landry Fields because I was very skeptical of what he was trying to do. I want to say that this offseason may be the most important offseason for this iteration of this team, because you have your core 6.
What you call the core 6?
Trey, Dyson, Zachary Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu. Well, I guess Karis LeVert, or I don't know.
TBD.
You got your core 5. You got your 5.
I'd like to have him come back for sure. I love that dude.
You got your 5. I actually think they really like Muhammad Gay. But I think you got your core, but he's movable. But I think because he's 6'11", he pairs a little bit better with Okongwu.
Yes, and you with those 4, and what you assume us to do is to lose Clint Capella and refill with a young center. Yeah, Muhammad Gay is affordable, and for all intents and purposes will be affordable for the foreseeable future. Karis LeVert is probably going to be $15-20 million. You can go ahead and pay Dyson. You got Jalen on the Ozzie Albies run on Acuna contract. You got Okongwu on the same type of deal. Now, Trey, you're going to be
they positioned themselves to pay Trey.
But he's not getting paid this year, and you got to hope that he doesn't take that personal that he doesn't get paid this year.
Well, I think if they're being transparent with the plan, and he buys into it, which he seems like he is because of the words he's given for Dyson Daniels and
right.
ricochet, especially when he should have been a starter on the All-Star team and not an alternate.
Hey, y'all know I don't love Trae Young, but one thing I do know is Trae Young has always been better than Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero will never be better than Trae Young, not in this world, not on 2K, not on 3K, not in 4K. It will never happen. That's disrespectful. That's crazy. And it's embarrassing that y'all thought that was reasonable and acceptable.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
They had a whole video segment with him, Tyler Hero. He was like, for real, me? He didn't even believe it. But what I was saying was, this is the most important offseason because you would assume they're going to run it back with a combo, like you said. So you've got your starting five. This is the fill in the blank offseason. You've got to build a bench and find a backup point guard or figure out how to keep Kobe Buffkin healthy. One or the other.
Both.
But you've got to figure out
BOFF. Both.
You've got to be able to fill in the blanks. You got to give him credit through trial and error, through pivots and everything. He's built a decent starting five. Even if you don't like Okongwu with that 6'8", you still have built a decent starting five. One that was, might I tell you, before he got hurt, was fourth in the East.
Right. Now there are a couple things that you got to look. I like to look at the whole league in our position. Everybody can't win a championship this year, right? Somebody ain't gonna have enough money to pay everybody. The one thing that I will say that the Hawks have right now is they're not indebted to anybody for an ungodly amount of money. Every contract, including Trae, can be traded reasonably. You're not going to have to pay somebody like we've done in the past and just basically sell a player. So, all right, well, we'll give you this and this, so you'll take this player. So I think we're going to get to, I assume probably as long as the wheels don't fall off early, at least the mid-season before they start to make a decision. Now, Trae, this is where it's on you. You got to get us out of the mid. Boston, if they don't win, their money is very funny. Milwaukee,
if they win or not, their money is funny.
Right. I mean, you're right. You're right. But not winning. I mean, the money's funny either way, but not winning really, it escalates bigger moves. Cleveland, y'all paid everybody. Better win this year. If not, you can't afford all them players.
They only got 4 players that they really need, 5 that they need to keep.
Oh,
Donovan, the 2 front court players, the point guard, what's his name? I want to call him Booby Gibson. That's not him. And DeAndre Hunter, who's already under contract. So I mean, other than that, everybody else, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, all y'all interchangeable.
But the thing about it is, their bench is better now. Ty Jerome probably gonna want some money. He should be actively seeking some money. You've been on the fringe of the NBA for a long time.
Hey, it's cool. The door is unlocked. That ain't closed. You can decide to go.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Ty Jerome might be more, and I know this sounds crazy, he might be more valuable than DeAndre Hunter if he plays like he played this year.
You can say that about everybody.
Right.
There's a lot of people that be more valuable than people if they play consistently.
Right. So, I mean, they're going to have to make some decisions. And then you're going to go into Celtics mode. You'll have 5 players, and then you're going to find the Sam Houses of the world to try to win with. That don't leave much room for error. The difference with the Hawks, and I think that we're kind of set up is we could afford, I think, 2 more players, 2 more reasonable players.
I'm not gonna put no names out there because y'all yelled at me when I put one name out there and you said it ain't gonna work. But
Who?
actually, I'm gonna say it. I don't know what. Well, actually, he's under contract, so I don't know if it will work. And I don't know if he would come here because he wants to win the chip. He's in win now mode. But KD here,
No. No, 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 no.
the
And
thing
I
is, you
love
got to trade for him. I don't want to trade for him. I would
you.
rather just outright sign him.
You got to trade for him, and they not like Phoenix. I assume that Matt Ishbia won't continue to make stupid decisions
Why?
because you look like the stupid person. This team,
We'll get there. But there's no inkling that the stupid decisions are about to stop.
I mean, you're right. You're right, but also if I want KD, I also know that Matt Ishbia values KD because he was the first big get that he got. So yeah, if I give you KD, it ain't no way in hell that I'm not getting Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet,
or Dyson Daniels. One of those three.
1, 2.
No,
I'm
you can go
yes.
That's why I said. That's why I talked it through. I said, well, this is probably not going to work because you got to trade for him. And the 5 pieces that we have to trade, we are not trading. So
Yeah, right.
At least
And
not at this moment in time. So
it's probably Jalen and Ricochet because you're gonna have to pay Dyson, and they're gonna want salary flexibility. And on top of that, all that money that I just talked about that we could pay some other players with, they say KD wants $60 million a year.
I don't know. I mean, there's other players to go get, but we need a 5. And I don't know who it is that you go get because they like Okongwu. So if you like Okongwu, then you kind of need a. It's not going to happen, but you need a player the caliber or with the skill set of like Giannis. You need a 4 that can play a 5.
That's the
On
reason
defense and then play the 4 on offense.
I think that we really need to go after Danny Wolf because you could play. Once again, I like to be able to mix and match my guys just in case, so I can always have one good guy on the floor. So I could play Danny Wolf and Jalen Johnson together. Danny Wolf's a legit 7-footer. Then you can play Muhammad Gay because he gives you great rim protection and a Kungwu at the same time. Hell, you could play Muhammad Gay and maybe play Jalen together. All of those different things allow for, number one, injuries, which we know are eventually going to happen, and we can keep some of our best players on the floor at the same time. It's just tough because we have a small center and we have a very small point guard. The middle of the lineup is appropriately sized. If not, actually kind of big. Pause if applicable. But the bookends,
big.
You got jokes. The bookends are kind of rough. If Okongwu played in Chicago, he'd be perfectly fine.
Okongwu's a good center. He's just 6'8". I mean, as you said, I think he averaged like 15 and 12, 15 and 13 in the second half of the season. And that's he don't really get no plays run for him.
No.
And he averaged 15 and 13. And he was guarding. I mean, you're never gonna stop Giannis, but Giannis is one of them dudes that he just hates playing. Like Giannis hates playing Okongwu. He dominates everybody. And he may go every now and then or every other game get 40. But then he play Okongwu, he's like winded, tired. Like Okongwu is not a pushover.
No, he gives, and you see Miami went and got Kyle Ware because he was Okongwu and Bam. It was a dog fall, especially at this point in Bam's career and this point in Okongwu's career. It's a lot closer than people think. Bam has the bigger name. He has more pedigree. But if you look at both of them playing basketball.
Now, Okongwu does struggle against Orlando. And Orlando is his kryptonite because everybody's 6'8" or taller. Right. Really, everybody's 6'10".
And Paul,
and
but they're well bodied. Like that's a big, like they're a 6'8" stocky. It ain't
I was
nothing
wrong.
You could just.
They're 6'10". Franz is 6'10". Paolo is 6'10". Jonathan Isaac 6'10". William Carter,
No, Wendell Carter. He's a
Wendell
fine
Carter,
ass. You ain't got to worry
6'10".
about seeing him much longer. Paulo gonna send him
Hey, come
home.
on, me dog. You can play over here. Come on home. Come on home.
Now I will tell you, I think he's still on the contract, so you have to trade him. And I don't. But let me tell you, Paulo gonna get him out of there. When I saw that, why are we paying him? You're going home, big dog.
Yeah, they're not
you ain't
gonna
gotta
lose
leave.
Shaq again.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, they're not gonna lose Paulo.
And Paulo is. I tell you all the time, Paulo is what you believe Zion. What I believe I wanted Zion to be.
Yes, but it's not fair. Zion's 6'6". Paulo is 6'10", and I 100% agree or believe that they were going to draft Chet. So they brought Paulo in for that workout, and they saw that he was 260 pounds, and they said,
grown man day one.
They said, and then when he had the workout, I was like, oh, because as soon as they brought him in for the workout and they like watched him work out, they was like, oh yeah, Paulo's going number one. That was the end of it. There was no more discussion. It was Chet, who's 3 and who's 2. It was like, Orlando settled on Paulo. And I was like, well, yeah, he's 260.
I think because Wendell is at 20 million, I'll probably give you Terrence Mann and George Niang for Wendell Carter. And I think that would be a good move for all parties.
Bring Ricochet off the bench or bring Carter off the bench?
Carter off the bench. You get to win. And you get away from a team that don't want you.
And you come home.
Right. And once again, just play basketball. You also, he can shoot enough. He can play the 4. Jalen Johnson, love him to death, does have a little injury history. But we can do, if you can play with Paulo, then we could probably make it work with a Kungwu or any variation of that. And
well, yeah, he gives you the opportunity to play the 4 on offense and the 5 on defense because he's actually a really good rebounder.
And Niang is a shooter. Orlando needs shooters. Terrence Mann is another guy who can do a little bit of everything. That's what they need right now.
I don't want to give Terrence Mann. I don't. I think he's underwhelmed for me for what I thought he would be because I think we got him 2 years too late. But he
can do a little bit of everything, man.
If you guard somebody, if you put him, if he may be the 4th option on our team, but he gonna torch the 4th option on your team
for sure
every time. So I like him. I think I like his defense. I love the fact that he can guard everybody, and he ain't no punk neither. No, we got a little toughness now.
He got some toughness.
I don't like the minivan, but the minivan be out there. Like, look, we can fight right now.
And he's 40% 3-point shooter. That's what Orlando needs is more spacing. You could put him out there.
I will see if I can get off Buffkin if I were going to do that because they need point guard.
Jet Howard. I mean, that's literally.
I ain't seen him at all. Is he hurt?
And yeah. I mean, Jet and
Black.
Anthony Black. I don't think. Do not be the San Francisco 49ers. Go pay for you a good guard. Don't play with it no more. Don't try to get smart. Don't get cute. Go find you a guy. Go get you a real live guy now. Because, hey, like you said, don't get Shaquille O'Neal down here. Don't.
I don't want to beat this to death. Pause if necessary, but I don't. Smirk on your face. I don't. I really, really, and I know they're probably not gonna get rid of him. But if I had to choose between Wendell Carter and Jonathan Isaac, I like Jonathan Isaac, dog. He get hurt.
Always hurt. Always hurt.
But he's played more this year than he's played in the last 2 or 3. And the always hurt things probably get you a little cheaper. And I saw him against the Hawks guard the 1 through the 5 in one play. He guarded everybody. Blocked the shot, got the rebound, then blocked the shot.
Oh, you know what? Let's give him credit. 71 games played this year.
Yeah. He played a lot.
Now
and he has no problem coming off the bench. So you can still keep Okongwu on the bench. Keep him on the bench and bring him in to play the 5 and now you bring him in. I mean,
No, he's gonna have to play the 4, but you feel way more
he's
confident.
6'11", ain't he?
Yes, but he is skin, and now the part is he's skin and bones. He was a Kung Wu was pushing him down now, straight down. Get out the way now. But him and a Kung Wu work together, especially since there are not that many stretch fours that are brolic.
He ain't really a stretch for them.
I mean, he's something. He ain't a 5. He ain't a 5 for sure. I don't think they consider him a 5.
I think he could play both positions in a pinch. And
Yeah,
it
and that's
allows,
the other
but it
part for
allows
me
us for
is
flexibility. You can pair him with everybody now. He's one of those guys that he can pair with everybody. He paired with Okongwu, he paired with Muhammad Gay, he paired with Jalen Johnson, he paired with Zachary Ricochet. Hell, Larry Nance. Well, Larry Nance might be the one guy he probably doesn't play, but Larry Nance, you cool. You trying to be the next Vince Carter.
why is he not in the rotation?
Who?
I went to go look up Jonathan Isaac on the depth chart. Nowhere to be found. Oh, he's the 5. Oh, he is the backup 5. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
they
they
play
ain't.
him at the 5.
Well, they don't got anything else.
But they don't
His
need him at the 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, roster kind of back like Anthony
They're gonna
Black,
have to
Cole
trade
Anthony,
him or Wendell Carter for
Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, and Caleb Houston. That is a rough place to that backup unit. That backup unit too small. But I guess you had Mo before he got hurt, and that would have had Mo at the backup 5, and then you put Isaac at the 4.
Would have been back at the 4,
and then you could play Caleb Houston at the 4. Gary Harris at the 3. Lord,
Gary Harris was never meant to play.
no, you're right.
Not much.
Gary Harris got out of the damn. He got out of Denver and never was the same. Now it does help that Anthony Black is like
injuries.
Is 6'7", and I think Jet Howard, who I think you need to play more. Yeah, he's 6'6". If you got that kind of backcourt, then yeah, we could play some smaller guys. But they're a team that they like us. You need to make some good decisions this offseason, or it's gonna get hectic.
I think that would be if I know it's interdivision, and we can wrap this up because we got to get to Mike Malone and we got to get to Bloody Monday, as I like to call it for basketball, now that the season's over. But I think that they would be well to try to trade with the Hawks for a guard, a point. I don't really Kobe Buffkin. I think
they can't afford Buffkin if we just came off the Suggs injury. We need, and Buffkin. Unfortunately, I love the kid. He ain't never been healthy. You've never just never been healthy. You can't roll the dice on that when you got Paolo. Paolo's like, hey, you better find me a real human that can really shoot. They need to be looking. I think at Bradley Beal, honestly. Ooh,
trade for LaMelo. LaMelo gonna want
trade. What you gonna trade?
What you mean? What am I trade?
What you got?
What do you want?
You're not giving up Franz, and you're not giving up Paolo. There's nothing else there.
I'm not giving up Paolo.
And you're not giving up. And you're not giving up Suggs. You're not giving up Franz.
Why? Why am I not giving up Suggs to get LaMelo?
Because LaMelo. I mean, I like it, but I do think that team does have an identity, and I'm not giving up a lot to get LaMelo, who's never no. They have they've done a full rebuild. They're at the point. Orlando.
Oh, I thought you said Charlotte has an identity. Yeah.
No. Orlando has a physical, tough identity. I think that they really like Suggs as their quarterback. I don't think they want to mess with that. I don't think they really want to they don't really want to play with this lineup. I think that Wendell Carter, I think that time
they're in the same position as the Hawks then.
Yeah, very much so.
A move. They have their starting 5, really.
No, you don't. They don't have. They don't
Starting
have
core. They need a center. They need a center.
No. They really got this. A center would be nice, but they need a 2 guard who's a bucket. They need guard scoring.
Go to Portland. Or go get Cam Whitmore. That's what I would do. There you go. Cam Whitmore gonna be one out tomorrow.
No Lord.
Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard came in, started 3 games this year and averaged 20 points.
Right. Now, I would say that is a place where Reed could go, and even being slighter frame, he'd be perfectly fine because you're still amongst the trees on that team. Speaking of people no longer with their team, no. Mike Malone fired from the Denver Nuggets as the Denver Nuggets prepare to go to the playoffs. If I remember correctly, they're the 4th seed. This is wild.
They were 4 games away from going from the end of the season, and they fired him. Now, to be in context, they also fired the general manager,
Calvin Booth.
And it was reported that it was, and I'm not saying this, and I don't necessarily believe this because I think he's a scapegoat. They said it was over Russell Westbrook and that they were playing Russell Westbrook over the younger guys. Also, they said Mike Malone had some furniture moving in there when they told him he was fired.
Right. We're headed to the playoffs. What are you talking about? I'm fired. What do you stand like?
Tell y'all, I told y'all when they traded Luka, I said the floodgates are open now. There's no rules. There's no more rules. When I can trade Luka, who took you to the Western Conference Finals and got hurt, and I ain't gonna say that's the reason you lost, but that was a main contributor. And then I trade him in the middle of the season in which we are in the playoffs. We are in the playoffs. I think they're 5th or 4th seed or whatever he was. After he scored a 60-point triple-double and a 70-point triple-double. Once you could trade that, I was like, oh, well, anything can happen. And that's what happened the rest of the season. Anything happened all season. I was like, bro, this season.
This is number one. I got to look at this from an organizational point of view. You needed to fire your coach and your GM. We got to look at the people who made that decision. How do you get to this point in the season and realize, number one, this ain't working, and these guys are not getting along? So both of them were wrong. Oh, you look crazy. You look super crazy.
Well, it is said that they were trying to fire Mike Malone 2 years ago, and they messed around and won the championship. So then it was like, we can't fire you now because you won the championship. So then they gave him this year. But the relationship between the GM and the head coach had been bad for some years. And they were to the point where they weren't talking, and it created a toxic work environment is what they're citing.
Yes, but my thing is, you have like the group mediation. I think it at least stands to reason to keep one of the guys for the rest of the season. So if Mike Malone was never your guy and the only reason he was there is because he won a championship, then I'm going to rock with Calvin Booth. But if you're telling me that Calvin Booth wasn't doing his job and the coach wasn't doing his job, it means the leadership was picking the wrong people.
How can you say that and they won the championship?
Oh, I mean, we see winning a championship. That's a year, baby. And I think a lot of this is kind of mismanagement post championship. I think that, and I love Michael Porter Jr., but it costs too much money.
They already said they're not trading him. That came
right,
out. Now, of course,
which is the issue. I got a $50 million player that I cannot trade, who is the third option. Third option? Yes, for sure. Third option. I'm going to be stuck. No, he's the third option. Jamal Murray averaged 21 points MPJ averaged
Oh
18
yeah,
points.
yeah. But John Murray was also hurt a lot. That's why I said, yeah,
Right,
he's
but
the shooter. He's the spot up shooter. He's the spot up shooter of the team. A $50 million spot up
I
shooter.
can't I can't pay you $50 million to do that. And you kind of you're forcing them both to be put in tough situations. Malone is like, bro, we know what a decent rotational player looks like now. Probably about 20, 15, $20 million. That's all that's 2.5 players. That's like that's 2D. No, yeah. Isn't Hunter getting paid like $20 million? That's 200s and a Terrence Mann. As good as Michael Porter Jr. is, he's not that good.
But you can't. I mean, if you feel that way, I'm assuming that the people that get paid to do scouting and all those things, a good majority of them probably have similar feelings. Maybe not as strong about him not being that good, but they that's not a
And I think
foreign
that Michael Porter
conversation.
Jr. is a good basketball player. He's just not. Him and Trey are getting paid the same amount of money. As he ain't Trey level.
Yeah. They won the championship and he was hitting them shots, and they was like, all right, well, let's go ahead. That's the downside of go ahead and pay him, right? Because they thought he was gonna ascend. They thought he was gonna get better because he was shooting in the finals. He was
You're right.
bad in the playoffs, and then he got to the finals and he just ignited. And they were like, "Oh, okay, he's turning around."
The issue is the back injury. He don't have enough athleticism to really give you anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can shoot the rock. Great. You're a bucket, but you ain't really like a lockdown defender, and you expensive. You gotta help us.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you. I just
Realistically,
don't know
he's
where you
probably
can't get rid of him.
He's no, because of the contract. He's really a $35 million player getting paid $50 million. So now you got to look at somebody who trying to take on some salary. But if ownership tells you, oh, I'm a Missouri alum, so you can't trade him, what am I supposed? I can't fix this equation if you keep breaking it. And I'm also a firm believer of just because you got fired, that don't mean that's not a bad thing. I think that there are going to be tons of teams that are interested in Mike Malone. Grizzlies. He fits perfect.
What I hate, I'm doing this for every point, but I've been thinking about this since he got fired because it was such a bombshell. Okay, you said all of those things about Mike Malone, and you think this is a bad move by the Nuggets and all of those things. What if they go on a run in the playoffs?
I don't know what that means.
What if they make it to the Western Conference Finals Game 7 and lose like Sacramento on a 3 at the end of the game by Kobe Bryant? Like
worst case,
Robert
worst case scenario for them. Because then you're like almost obligated to run it back
with
the
assistant coach that nobody knows anything about. But if they make a run, they are in a corner. Because you got to do it. And
that's the reason
you really need to upgrade this roster a little bit, but I don't know if you can.
You can't.
But if they have Joker, and he could just decide I'm going to do a triple double, a 30-point triple double every game in the playoffs, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, oh Lord, see, this roster makeup doesn't even make any. Oh my God, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Let me tell y'all. So Jamal Murray this year making $36 million. It's a little pricey, but okay. You know, next year he'll make 46, 50, 53. At 31, you're going to pay. I hate to say players are not worth it, but the way that the second apron is set up now I know you'll get a jump because of the TV money, but next year he's going to be 30% of the cap.
Orlando.
I'm not taking him. I don't want that. Not what number. I'm not giving him KD.
No. Bradley Beal on that team ain't bad.
Right. But then you still have to go out and find a point guard though.
Sure. No, I mean yeah, by position, by
Right.
roster.
That's the reason I was like, you don't have to. You got
we just went through Trey leading the league in assists, and number 3 was Joker.
Like, yeah. I mean, you're right.
Every
Traditionally,
category.
you are 100% correct. Give me 2 Bradley Beals, honestly. Let them both shoot. Everybody shoot. You're right. It's just, I guess.
That's not a bad move now.
It's weird. That's the thing. It's weird. It's just weird. That's it. But you could
Booker
100%.
Murray can pass better than Beal.
He's a facilitator. Murray's now. I just wouldn't want to pay that money. I wouldn't want to be stuck with that.
You're already paying it.
Yeah, but I mean,
and KD gonna come off the books. KD gonna come off the books. Yeah, but KD wants $60 million.
Right. Now he wants it.
Where KD gonna sign for?
He's going to get it.
Detroit.
Okay. So
all right, we spiraling.
No.
Hey,
I do want to talk about this real quick because of course, we have all the DMV friends. KD to the Wizards.
I'm not mad at it. I said that last week. I threw it out there when the group chat, and y'all just, I don't know if it was during like a Trump tirade or something, but everybody just stepped on by it. And I was like, hey,
I think the
KD
Wizards
to the Wizards with Alex Sarr and Jordan Poole, and then get like
no. Jordan gotta go. He gotta go. If
KD's not going to the Wizards. I'm not gonna rebuild the Wizards.
No, but
KD want to win a championship.
Nah, but I mean, you could. The thing that you're never in rebuild with KD. People are going to jump at the opportunity to go to KD. So in that case, you could get you a point guard once you get KD, because somebody like, he'll call him on the phone. Hey, you want to come play? Yeah.
Houston. I already told y'all. I've been had this conversation. Why are we doing this conversation? Houston is the answer.
No, hell no.
Houston is the answer.
I'm not blowing up what I got.
What do you mean blow up? Who do you mean blow up?
If I'm Phoenix,
who are you willing to trade to get KD from Houston? Dylan Brooks is one.
You think Matt Ishby you think he's gonna volunteer to let you rob him?
No, I'm not trading just Dylan Brooks. But they got picks. They got I would trade Jabari or Tari or Cam Whitmore, or they've got like 9 players. Y'all can go.
Jabari Smith,
KD,
Jabari
Jalen
Smith,
Green, Amen Thompson, KD.
No. You talking about players who can't leave.
And a fifth. Fred VanVleet would have to go somewhere, and somebody at the 1. That's a crazy line.
You think I'm trading you Kevin Durant and I'm not getting Amen Thompson or Alperen Sengun back?
Yeah. I just named everybody else you can get. All of them plus picks.
No, I was born at night, but not last night, sir. If I'm giving you one of the arguable greatest players of all time, you're not giving me Dylan Brooks and a pack of pork rinds. No. I still have to keep Devin Booker happy. That's the other part. Devin Booker is not just going to be like, okay, let this.
Carmelo himself.
It's tight.
Devin Booker should leave. He should leave. He should be a 2. He's the 2 that everybody's missing. Devin Booker in Orlando makes Orlando an Eastern Conference.
Oh my God.
And his contract is probably
if you're getting Devin Booker, then I demand
Franz. You can have anybody other than Paolo and Jalen Suggs.
No, I mean you can have Suggs. You just gotta go. I love you, dog. Suggs.
Okay. Well, then you can have 2 of those 3. Franz, Suggs, or one of those 2. Franz or Suggs. You or maybe both.
No, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be both. It's for surely gonna be both.
But Paolo and KD is, I mean, there's nothing you can do.
It's stressful.
That's that.
But
It's crazy.
honestly, nobody make no money over there, honestly.
If they're gonna do it, this would be the year to do it.
It would take so much. Yeah, because I don't foresee that, but it's going to be interesting. Basketball should be exciting. Next up, not that one. And I told you so news. Zion Williamson gets David Griffin fired. I know that's not how this thing is supposed to read, but I've been saying this for a long time. Zion will get you fired. He's going to play in enough games for everybody to remember how good he might be and never played enough games to influence the season. That gets people fired.
I wish you had that graphic to show Zion has outplayed like the people that you never thought he would have outplayed since he's been in the league. Like I'll find it. Go ahead. I'll find
his
it.
His stats are magical when he plays. He just doesn't play enough basketball for him to be a valuable asset, especially not a max contract.
The max contract, I agree. But he's played more basketball than you would think.
Oh, yeah. They talking about
I find it while you talk.
You talking about like Joel Embiid, sure. That's another situation for sure. But at the end of the day, Zion has never played he's never played enough basketball to influence a team having a successful season. And not moving that years ago is a problem. Oh, this year he played
Zion
30 games.
Has played more games since 2023 than Brandon Ingram, John Morant, and LaMelo Ball.
Okay, like all of those guys. Well, John Morant, I'm not gonna say he traded, but he close. I'm not. He could be traded. If next season don't go well, I expect him to move on from John Morant. LaMelo,
I don't think that's off of him not playing games. Well, partially it is because they're playing, but it's because it's not injuries. It's just not playing.
No, he been injured this season. He had some injuries, and then also he got sat down.
Chitty bang bang.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram, his ass got traded. Moved on. Had to go in a different direction. You're gonna be employed, just not here anymore, my guy.
And then LaMelo, the guy they replaced them with out for the season.
Right. That part you need to fire your training staff too. And I mean, LeVar said it. LaMelo is gonna be the best basketball player, but you can't win with him being your leader. I think that he quietly. Charlotte is in such a different situation. I guess New Orleans is too, where you're not a big market, so people are not really interested in going there. So you kind of got to keep what you have. But what you have is not really much. Actually, that's not true. I think that New Orleans has a very good roster. They're just all hurt.
Yeah, the whole team got hurt. They got hurt like everybody else that we talk about. The team got hurt.
Right. If you could move Zion and get your guys healthy, you surely got a team. But the whole team being hurt don't help you out.
Can we talk about the Suns next? Because since we're talking about people that get fired.
Oh,
Griffin,
yeah.
We knew that he was gone. We knew he was gone because you underachieved with what was your master plan. When your master plan doesn't come together, it's over with.
But I mean,
that was that.
If you could have DeJounte and CJ, and even after you traded Ingram, you got what's his name? Trey Murphy. Even Eves Missy. At one point this season, remember, he was looking to be rookie of the year earlier. Like they put together a decent team that just everybody got hurt. Yeah, if you could trade Zion and get like a legitimate, not even like a killer for, just a a good enough guy, you be fine. You know what? I don't think that they do it, but I think even like a guy who I don't think is the best and kind of expensive, and a guy like Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant would have been an excellent addition to this roster. He'd been perfect.
I mean, yeah. Then you got basically interchangeable Trey Murphy. That's what
Right.
those are, which is what Brandon Ingram. He's Brandon Ingram. So yeah,
Right.
would you pay more for Brandon Ingram? Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, you extending Zion, who played a decent amount of games this year, but that
No, 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 no,
hamstring just
no, no, no. Last year he played 70 games. This year he played 30 games.
that hamstring is just it is not getting better. Whatever it is, every
No, the
time he plays,
hamstring, bro. It ain't the hamstring. It ain't the hamstrung. It's he fat. Let's keep it real. You weigh too much, and if you
say
don't
that
lose
again.
any weight, if you don't lose no weight, there's nothing we can do for you. And you know what he want to do, and it ain't losing weight.
He's on number 2. And then had the girl fight.
Right.
But yeah, let's talk about the Suns real quick. My bad. Let's talk about the Suns. I took you off your screen. Let's talk about the Suns real quick.
Oh, no.
They fired Mike Budenholzer after finishing 11th, which I don't know if that's his fault. I don't know if he was the one that signed off on the trade for Bradley Beal.
No.
But they've fired Monty Williams after going to the finals. They fired Frank Vogel, and then they fired Budenholzer, 23, 24, 25. What's interesting is they fired Monty Williams the year they had KD, Booker, Chris Paul. No, yeah, KD, Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. Is that right? And they only played 8 games together. And they were 8-0.
So
it's
there
small
was a
sample
thing,
size, but the games also weren't that close.
right? This is another issue where you can't fire everybody. Either, and I think that the firing of Monty was bad. You should have kept Monty, and you should have moved Ayton. But they did both. And that's where I think you went wrong. And clearly because you've been looking for coaches. Now, the other part is, I know that this is technically a Suns firing, but also Coach Budenholzer, as we know, is not interested in a rebuild. And you're going to move Beal, and there's already at least plausible talk of moving KD. You might have fired him, but he might have also been ready to go. I think that he's another guy.
Back to Phoenix.
He could be or Cam Johnson, or both. But for me, I think that Budenholzer, the Grizzlies have an opportunity now to get a good coach. If you didn't like Taylor Jenkins for whatever reason, you can backfill today with Budenholzer, who's a 2-time coach of the year. Mike Malone's a champ. Oh, Budenholzer's a champ too. They're tough, fiery guys who know how to win with a roster that's already put together.
Budenholzer wouldn't have left Milwaukee if it wasn't for off the court unfortunate events that kind of just sapped his will to coach. He had Milwaukee moving.
That's another part you might have to take into consideration. Can he, after you have certain things happen, it's kind of like, Monty Williams, he coaching high school or private school basketball now. I think, depending on what.
He said, I'm done with it. Well, yeah. I got $100 and $200 million.
I'm the highest paid coach.
A lot of bad people.
Yeah, I'm the highest paid coach, and I am not coaching there anymore, Detroit. And clearly that was the right decision. Congratulations on Detroit noticing that they made a bad decision and changing that, and that allowing them to turn their entire organization around.
Yeah. This Phoenix thing, I don't know how this plays out. I will keep an eye on it.
Oh, it's Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia he got to start listening to people.
No, we don't. Why does he? I'm pretty sure he got his billions by not listening to people.
Right. Yes. At Rocket Mortgage, a mortgage company. I think he played a little bit of basketball, so I think that he believes that he's a basketball person. You firing 3 coaches in 3 years, you look stupid.
Breaking news.
Oh, Lord. What?
Hall of Famer Joe Dumars is a serious frontrunner to become the lead basketball executive at the New Orleans Hornets. Yes. As we just talked about David Griffin being fired.
Yeah, they released
that is a man who has a good track record.
Absolutely. He's in like NBA operations, so I'm sure he probably has at least a decent relationship with the majority of the team. So when you're talking trades, deals, etc., and he's from Louisiana. Dumars going to trade Zion though. I'm gonna tell you, if I'm the GM, that is my first order of business. Who wants?
They're looking like Trump on an executive order,
right? And I'm
Zion to Utah.
To El Salvador, hell, I don't care where he goes. Get the hell out of here.
That's not funny. That's not funny, but it's funny. That's terrible.
You know what? That is the title. Zion to El Salvador. Getting the hell out of here, son. You get first one-way trip. First class. Oh, no. No. Oh, that's what I was actually looking for. In surprising news to me, I thought he was on the verge of possibly getting fired.
Nope.
The Portland Trailblazers.
We made this happen.
The Portland Trailblazers have decided to extend Chauncey Billups on a multi-year contract. I don't think that Billups is a bad coach. I don't know exactly what the Portland Trailblazers are doing, though. They don't really seem to have a plan.
I disagree there. I think that you get signed like this because you have a plan. I think he sold them on a plan, sold them a dream.
Okay, maybe I'm just not used to black coaches getting this much of an opportunity.
Yeah. They lucked up or not lucked up and got Denny, who's coming off the ACL, whose stock was a little down. I've been talking to
Wizards fans. I said, boy, I think y'all sold too early on that, boy.
I think he averaged like 20, 10, and he's like doing Josh Giddey numbers almost.
We'll 17, 7, and 4, but that's not really indicative of the whole season.
He's averaging like 23, 12, and 8. Like, and I'm telling y'all, I joke around
6'9",
but with him and what's the other one? The other guy that plays on their team. It was against the Hawks.
Anthony Simons.
Them two were going back and forth. Huh? No. Anthony Simons hurt. Is Shaden Sharp? Was it Shaden Sharp? Yep. Him and Shaden Sharp were going back and forth against the Hawks. It was just them two. They're the only ones that scored in double digits. And it was Chauncey Billups and them two huddled up every time out. And they come out and they would score. And I was like, I think we just got Chauncey Billups extended. We just got him enough. Shout out to the Hawks. Them two cooked us and got Chauncey a new contract.
Now, I do want y'all, I do have to bring this part up, is I tried to tell y'all when he was in Israel, hey, this is probably the guy who we need to be interested in. And the Wizards made it so bad, they almost made me not believe in the man no more. He played versus the Bulls, 37 points on 12 of 25. 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Game before that, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Versus us, this is the game you're talking about. 32 points on 21 shots, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals.
Go look at that game. It was only 2 of them that scored in double figures, I believe. Him
versus the Knicks, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Kings, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Y'all the Wizards are a black hole. And I think that's probably what's going to happen to Alexander Sarr, to be completely honest with you, is even if you're good, that ain't gonna be a place that's good for you.
No, they got two players. Yeah, Kamara went off in the fourth quarter, and Klingon and Benton got to 11 points on free throws. Denny and Shaden Sharp had 32, 15, and 10, and 33 and 10, and beat the Hawks by themselves.
Hey, DeAndre Ayton, you out of there, my boy. Again. You
He'll be
gone.
in Atlanta.
No. I hate it when we say stuff like that because it's not like we want him. It's just that it's like
His skill set fits what we need.
Dog.
On offense. Defense.
I mean, and the thing is, he's not a bad defender. He just don't have something. He's just empty calorie to death to me. He just, I ain't gonna say that online. It just he looks the part, but he's not the part. Donovan Cleveland has taken his job.
Zachary Richardson.
Hey, bro, get at the end of the bench, and we're getting rid of you. And you're too expensive to be a backup. We need that money.
You want to talk about Giddey or the Pistons?
No, not that. This Josh Giddey, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, only players with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists. OKC, you should have kept him. If you lose him at the end of the season, maybe that's a different thing. But I'm a firm believer that Josh Giddey on this OKC team makes it. I mean, we see how good they are now.
Do they get Hartenstein if they keep getting?
I think so. Yeah, because I think that now what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to understand that you don't end up with Caruso long term because you probably gonna just have to let Giddey walk. I'm okay with if I win a championship.
Giddey's probably off the bench on that OKC team too. So let's take his real contract that they just signed into. Is it
no.
over 3 years?
That doesn't kick in until next year. Right now, he is $8 million.
That doesn't matter. Would you pay that amount of money for a guy coming off the bench?
$8 million? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, they just signed him an extension where he was it 88 million over 3 years or something like that. 90 million. It's basically 90 million over 3 years.
Yeah, but that doesn't kick in this year. I'm trying to win today.
I think I don't want to bring it up because we're talking about basketball. But the off the court stuff, you were forced to make a decision right then and there what you were going to do. You were going to ride this out, pause if necessary, and you were going to figure out how they were going to handle the whole situation off court, or you could just wash your hands of it.
You took the easy way out. It might cost you in the long run.
Why?
Because I mean, Trump is the president, bro.
So you saying you could have just been quiet and let the scandal blow?
Chicago loves this guy. What you talking about?
Yeah, Chicago ain't OKC when it comes to winning right now. Like OKC,
I'm gonna say I think they should have just played the cards they was dealt and kept playing. I'm not folding. Hey, because winning fixes everything. And if they would have won a championship, that would have been an afterthought.
No, I disagree. I think that you would have had people showing up at the parade protesting. I think that.
Wait, hold on.
Finals.
Show up. They showing up to what parade, Reggie?
Yeah, they win a championship. I think that winning a championship, they picked to win a championship, whether he was there or not.
Okay. You can show up to any of my championship parades with a sign that says anything because we are
Okay.
champions.
Okay. Obviously, they think different. I see why they did it. And I also don't think he would have these stats in OKC. Remember, he'd be behind Shea.
Yeah, but I'm just cutting. I'm not. There's less time. There's no Alex Caruso time. And Casey Wallace, it's less of you too, bro. And I like you, and I like your
But
brother.
he's not getting 1,000, 500, 500. Shea averaged 30 minutes a game. He would get possibly 500, 250, 250
No,
as a
Casey
backup
Williams,
PG.
Casey Wallace is playing 27 minutes on this team. Alex
That's because
Caruso
of
is
injuries.
Alex
Fully
Caruso's
healthy, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do 1,000, 500, 500.
Alex Caruso is playing 20 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can find 25 minutes between, and I'm short. I'm probably gonna shorten the rotation anyway. But yeah, I can find a way to get him
I think
25
he's
minutes.
good. I think his stats are bloated because he's in Chicago. I think he's good. I'm not saying he's not a
so
top
once
500
again
player,
we broached
but
this
him being in
conversation.
OKC, his stats wouldn't be this. We wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff that he's doing. This triple double, averaging triple double, and 1,500. He's doing that partially because he's good and partially because he's in Chicago.
If we're 500 at the midway point of next season, are you interested in a Giddey for trade?
Would I be personally?
Because he could then you don't. Okongwu's being 6'8" is much less of a problem then.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to talk me into what you want to do, but I don't.
I mean, because I don't know if you can find a guy that makes a little bit less or equal to Trey. I don't know what Trey's value is either. I don't think people are jumping out at the opportunity to trade for Trey either. Unless you're like Charlotte.
I think San Antonio is still in on Trey because De'Aaron Fox needs an extension still.
No, I don't think. I think they should be out on Fox. I'm gonna go to that's my new thing. Trade Fox. Castle is your point. Let him run the point. Let him and Wemby figure it out.
He needs an extension. He maybe have one more year. So if San Antonio can do it, I'm sure they will trade De'Aaron Fox for Trae Young because they were trying to see what we were going to do this year with Trae Young before the De'Aaron Fox trade.
34 million. Fox. I mean, Fox is cheap now. Honestly, you probably only have to pay Fox what you pay in trade right now, which in 2 or 3 years is consignment. That's the issue with Trae is if you sign him, you got to sign him to that super duper max, and that's that like $60 million boy. But we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. That concludes a very in-depth basketball conversation.
Before we go, shout out to the Pistons. I love y'all for being petty. Y'all are doing the ticket restrictions. You know that the New York Knicks travel well. Y'all are facing them in the first round. And they have decided that they are prioritizing tickets to Michigan, Ohio, Ontario, and whatever else is up there in the Great Lakes. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
The thing with that is, I get that, but one thing is, every city you go to, it's a ton of people from New York anyway, so you still could end up playing an away game just due to the sheer amount of people in your area that are New York fans.
I don't think there's that many New York fans. Ontario would be the wild card. I don't think there's many New York fans in Ohio. I don't think there's many New York Knicks fans. I think they're there, but I think if you were to open it up to everybody, I think you probably have a 60-40 crowd.
Yeah, then you really allowing chaos. Yeah, you're doing the best you can to manage this, which is already difficult to manage. I remember when I used to play, when I used to work with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they play any of those teams. You play the Detroit Red Wings, the entire pavilion is nothing but Red Wings people. You like, damn, No, we live in Florida. We live in Tampa.
I'm a
We like,
Falcons
bro.
fan. You live in a tourist destination city, like all of them come. Every team comes. They come
Right.
deep. Every team comes to Atlanta deep.
I will tell you, the Lions fans this year. Oh, I was 50-50 in that stadium. I was
Oh
low
yeah,
key
it would be.
wild.
They thought they was winning. They
Yeah.
thought they was winning. They
Them
thought they was
Lions
like, yo, we
fans
got it.
they came in there wrecking shop. I was like, oh, y'all really like they had a full weekend down here. Everybody from Detroit was in Houston. Jersey on, Buffs on.
Yep. But good.
We will be right back. And we won't fumble like JD Vance. Don't embarrass
Football
yourself.
on the way. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Hit the link. Let us know in the comments where you're from. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 185 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. 186 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Our football segment. Football segment, man. Got a few things we're gonna talk about today. Before we get started, I put this on the list because I did want to send this out to the family of Kyron Lacey. RIP T's and P's to them. Kyron Lacey passed away. We won't go discuss the details. Just know that these athletes are under immense pressure all the time. And now that they're pretty much considered semi-pro, it's basically being a professional as a young adult or as a child. He had a lot going on, and unfortunately, he passed away. He was supposed to be a top 2 second round draft pick. Jaden Daniels has said things. Shout out to the coach from LSU. I can't think of his name right now. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly. He had his speech about Kyron Lacey came back up and resurfaced after all of this happened, and it was one of the most moving speeches. It was almost prophetic and scary.
Yeah.
But I did want to say T's and P's for that.
Thoughts and prayers to the Lacey family. Thoughts and prayers to the other family that was involved in this. And that's what I took from the Brian Kelly conversation was this kid was struggling with a lot even before that awful situation. And he was doing his best to try to manage it to the best of his ability. Right. And then the unfortunate situation happens after the season ends. And
he
it
saw his
didn't.
dream slipping away, and he didn't see a way out.
Right.
So it's just unfortunate. And again, T's and P's to the Lacey family.
And I look, I immediately just makes me think about Ruggs. And it's like there is a hope that Ruggs is going to have a future and have a life. Unfortunate what happened, terrible, what was done, but his life ain't over. You get a second chance. We all ask for grace and forgiveness and mercy, and just wish things had gone differently.
Yeah, yeah. T's and P's. We're gonna try to move on, but just know, in all seriousness, we love the family, and we send love to the family and to the community as well. All right, that's JD Vance doing JD Vance things. So Ohio State visited the White House this year
Look at
because
this
they
fool.
won the
Look at this
national
fool. Look at
championship.
this fool. Look at this
And
fool.
JD Vance broke the trophy as he tried to hold it up.
This is so representative of
And then
our.
he broke it again. They took it.
You know who he looks
I
like
know,
the
if
more
you're
that I
listening.
watch this? First of all, look at Trump in the back. Like,
Peter
look at this
Griffin.
damn fool. No,
He look like Peter Griffin.
Michael Scott. This is the most Michael Scott thing that you could do. Is I broke the trophy.
Yeah, from The Office.
And then after, I hope it's
he
like
is holding that thing like a Dundee award. Oh, that could be. That's
very, very much so. Like, hey, still a nice trophy though. Look, don't notice that it has fallen apart and it fell on the ground and all of that. Very nice trophy. Now, I will also say, I don't think that he knew that bottom part was your trophy. It's just, I don't know if this thing is actually, I think it's two pieces. I don't think that it's one piece. And I think that he assumed that it's one piece instead of two pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm talking
Nobody
about.
warned them. They didn't practice this at all or nothing.
Wait. Go back. Please look at the people in the back. Oh my God. Right here. Oh, that boy that dropped the damn trophy we just won. You know how much money we had.
I thought it was a
to
prank
get
at
this
first.
trophy?
They always prank them and say they dropped the trophy and broke it or something.
Oh no. I think that this is not only hilarious, I think it's very representative of the country as we currently move forward. I don't think there's a better representation of America than this moment. And notice Trump not doing nothing, watching you look stupid.
Not to make it political, but Brad, this is a microcosm of what we're going through right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Obama wouldn't have did that.
Nope. Obama would have rehearsed it.
Right.
Is the trophy one or two pieces? I don't want to drop it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have somebody else hold the trophy up. Imagine if Obama dropped the trophy.
No, that would never in a million years happen.
What would the backlash be if he dropped the trophy?
There wouldn't be any backlash because it would never happen. That is it's a fallacy. There's not a world where that could be an option. In a world where things should not be an option. Baby girl, ladies and gentlemen, I've been a Falcons fan a long time. And for you who are having the audio experience, y'all are missing out on this lady in this fantastic Falcons dress. Now, ma'am, you got to know your station in life. There are certain things that you can do, and there are certain things that you surely cannot do. If you wear an Atlanta Falcons dress to your wedding, there are going to be a lot of really bad jokes. And I honestly am okay with that because I feel like you earned it. Ma'am, you can't do this. This is embarrassing. You're gonna get every 28-3 joke. You're gonna get that this marriage ain't gonna last long because y'all ain't never won nothing.
Oh, I had all the jokes too, and I'm a Falcons fan. I
Right.
had all the jokes about this wedding dress.
You have to. It's not like we live in a world where we don't have common sense. We see it more than anybody else, bruh. Poor decision. Poor decision. The poor
Yeah,
decision, honestly.
yeah, it is. We jumped to the Falcons. I actually wanted to talk about before we head down the NFL road, the Nico Amaliva stuff. So if I'm assuming that y'all that are watching this or that are tuned in are know about sports and follow the NFL. I mean, follow college football. Nico Amaliva is or was the starting
Very much so
quarterback
was.
for the University of Tennessee. He signed a large NIL deal in high school, one of the first of its kind, and then that got him to commit to Tennessee. And I think he was scheduled to make $2.5 million this year off his NIL deal. And he came to renegotiate and wanted 4 because the incoming freshman quarterbacks for their NIL deals were getting 4 plus. And he decided to hold out. I'm not attending any meetings. I'm not attending any practices. I'm not attending nothing. And Tennessee said, okay, well, the door is back there. You can leave. And he entered the transfer portal. There's a lot of things to this story. First off, it was Oregon's coach, Dan Lanning, who was a former Georgia Bulldogs defensive coordinator, who told Tennessee's coach, hey, Nico is trying to get a new deal. And that's how Tennessee found out, because they never knew before, which means that Nico was reaching out to teams via his agent without going into the portal.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
which is very interesting. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I think that's something that they did not foresee.
He that you know what they call that old Atlanta Falcons special. Do a little tampering, baby. And what can we get with what we got?
And
that's our ball game. What you talking about?
This opens up or brings to light a lot of things in the NIL. I think this may be the situation that burst the pimple, per se. Like they've been working as the Wild Wild West for so long. There's been no rules. As you say all the time, this is college football. This is your fault that you're going through this. And I think at this point, when you look at the way NIL is set up, when you look at the way NIL is set up, it's set up basically as a bunch of one-year contracts, right? LeBron made this famous in the NBA. I'm gonna sign a 2-year deal, and every time the salary cap go up or the highest player gets paid, I'm gonna get paid that, or I'm gonna leave. And I think I'm not saying this is LeBron's fault. I'm saying it's a very similar philosophy, and yes. I think you're gonna have to figure out a way. And I think when we get to football, you're starting to see all of these players come back in these different positions. You're going to have to figure out a way for people to honor the contract. Why? And I think there's 2 fallouts, but I'll let you say something real quick. I think there's 2 fallouts of this, positive and negative.
Once again, first thing, been saying since we first started podding, colleges, you should guarantee your scholarship for 4 years. You started this. You did this. You said, oh, every year is a 1-year renewal. Then okay, that's perfectly fine. But it's not fun when the rabbit got the gun. The rabbit has the gun now. You set these terms and conditions. You set this precedent that we will reevaluate you at the end of every year. Well, me too. I'm going to reevaluate this contract at the end of every year too. And I saw Carson Beck get paid $10 million. Let me tell you, if he get 10, I want my money. It's that simple. And let's
Carson
be real.
Beck ain't 5 times better than me.
Hell no. He ain't 1 time better than me. We finna do some fractions around here. Honestly, we finna move the decimal. So no, I want my money. And that's the reason I don't feel bad. I'm not mad. I also watch it, of course, like I always do. I guess one of the things where players begin to get upset, and he's not the only person in Tennessee, I guess, who kind of used the same strategy, was they didn't want to play in the bowl games and the playoff games. They didn't want to be, because you paid them. The NIL is for a regular season. Well, bro, I don't work for free. And once the guy said it, because you know how some of them are, it was kind of like, what do you mean this athlete has the audacity to want to be paid for extra games? Well, when you go to work, you get paid for every day you go to work, right?
When you a coach, you get a bonus for making the playoff, don't you?
Exactly. So I think that's going to have to be a part of it too. Is, yeah, if we go to X, Y, and Z, I want a bonus. I'm not going to, especially like, I know it's too much of sports. They believe this is an opportunity. You should be thrilled to be here. This is fun. This is a game. No, it ain't. It is my livelihood. And if I get hurt in one of these games, I work for free. Y'all gonna tell me to go to hell?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And that was my one thing, that the positive. You're gonna have to guarantee. You're gonna have to figure out a way to guarantee the 4-year or at least a 2-year contract, which means you're gonna have to guarantee the scholarships. And if you can, which is something that the athletes have been begging for, which is why part of the reason why they wouldn't let them unionize was because they were going to not beg, they were going to demand 4-year scholarships. That was one of the things, call back to 2 years ago with Northwestern, when they tried to unionize, that was one of the things that they were going to talk about, was going to 4-year scholarships.
And I think that I want to be real with this too. Hey, college players, I know y'all listening. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe, tell somebody about the pod. You're in a space, it's like the .com era where if you just bought a website, you could get rich. This is where we are in NIL. But like everything, eventually, this too shall come to pass. And with what Nico has done, may or may not have expedited the regulation.
Over with. That's what my second point was. That was it. It's over with. Well, you ain't gonna be able to. All of this, he is ruining what KG said about was it Jimmy Butler? Yep. When he said, you are ruining everything that we fought for. The difference is they ain't fought for nothing yet. You're ruining everything we fought for with the guaranteed contracts because you keep screwing everybody over. That's what's about to happen in NCAA football.
Now I think
Jimmy Butler about to lose. I think you are about to lose all the leverage. You about to lose all the leverage, because one thing that NCAA football is in the South. Right. And as we can see, there's a certain demographic of people that will literally hurt them own selves to hurt you. Right. And they are going to do that.
Now, that's the reason I'm saying, do not let them people trick you into anything other than having a union. You have to have, like, don't.
They're going to get a commissioner, let me tell you.
Right. And if they get a commissioner, I think that y'all got rich. A lot of y'all got rich. And I think there's still space for y'all to stay rich. Not as rich as like Carson. I don't know how many more Carson Beck $10 million Miami seasons you'll get. There's going to be some regulations. Best thing you can do is keep you a union so that they have to negotiate with your union and not with you. Y'all negotiate collectively. I think that's going to be your bet. If there's anything I can impart, you better make that happen. Or otherwise, they're going to be right back to robbing y'all again, for sure. And if you don't learn from it, it'll happen to you again, for sure.
No, they're going to learn, because they're not going to keep losing this money. Although college football, because there's no rules, is basically a bottomless pit of money.
Right.
So they'll have to figure it out. But I'm not going to say.
And remember, the college football coaches have an association. They got a little union too. Yeah. You better.
Which is why I don't really feel any time. I was originally like, damn, Nico, this looks bad. Like, bro, you ain't. But when I kept looking at, what I did was I went back and Googled different coaches that had left after like 1 or 2 years. Right. And then my North Star, or my 000 on the graphing paper, is on the plane, on the Cartesian plane. There it is. My 000 on the Cartesian plane is Tyrone Willingham. If y'all keep screwing over these coaches and voiding stuff to get other people after they win, if I'm the player, y'all don't have any loyalty. There's no
No.
loyalty to the coaches. The coaches get to
And
leave whenever they want. They get to leave, and
if you
all of
believe
those
that
things.
there
Then
is
I'm
some
gonna leave.
loyalty, then you are a fool. They're
Mhm.
not loyal to anybody but that little trophy that JD Vance just broke. That's it. If it can get them a championship, they will throw you under the proverbial bus, never to be seen or heard from again. That is the reason. You can walk away with anything. Guarantee me 4 years of education at your institution. Period. I don't got to be on the football team. That's fine. But you're going to pay for me to go to school.
Yeah.
At,
So
at
I
least
I
if you're
love
going to fire me, I'm going to get another job.
this. We talked about the HBCUs last week about Grambling talking about, look, if you guys poach my players, you need to pay me a cancellation fee, or you need to pay me a fee. You, you are going to have to add some regulation. This will be my last thought, and we can move on to the rest of the NBA,
I
NFL.
got one.
But this will
Okay.
be you 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 have to have some regulation. And the thing with NCAA football, which is why y'all are seeing why this was so difficult to implement, is because it's easier to regulate 32 teams in the NFL.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
hard to regulate 114.
Right.
Well, it's actually more than that, because that's just
They
Division
want it.
One. You got
Right.
2, 3, FBS. They getting people from the mining school. Like,
Right.
that's a school of mining. I didn't even know that existed until a football player was drafted there. So, like, you have to regulate 500 plus schools. That is difficult. And now we're seeing why it was difficult. And you say it's gonna have to come to an end soon. I don't see how you regulate
I
this.
also I like the players to have the opportunity to kind of move around, but I'm also not in love with 4 or 5 schools in 4 or 5 years either. That is crazy. I think that
It's
you should
basketball.
get I think that you should get at the most 2. If you're asking for a third, then you need to be like a graduate transfer, means that you graduated from the school, or the school and really there should be some arbitration between the school and the player and someone else. So if we're going to give you a third one, we need to get this approved. Because all these schools every different year is crazy. Even Haley Van Lith. It's a lot of different places to go to college. It's a ton. Now, I think that if the coach leaves, then yeah, you can get then we dealing with something a little bit different. All right, well, they left in me too. I came here under the guys that I was playing for this guy. He's gone.
I think they got that
Congratulations.
part right, actually. I think they got that part right. They do
I
that. They if a coach leaves, you have 60 days to jump into the portal if you decide to leave. And that also forces the school to make a decision. Because if you don't, then I'm leaving. And
right.
I think they got that part right.
That's the biggest thing for me. But this is you are really becoming a professional if you change teams every year. Because you're not going to going to going to 4 different colleges is you got like think about it from that point of view. That's absurd. The hell your transcript look like? You know how hard it is to transfer from one school and think that them credits gonna transfer?
I came here to play football. I ain't come here to go to school.
Okay, then
Now that
that's
they
the
paying
reason.
me millions of dollars.
That's the reason I'm saying that this is becoming more and more professional. And I'm okay with that. But when you become professional, you have more responsibilities. It ain't no, hey, I'm a kid. I don't want to go to media day or I don't want to talk to the media after a loss because I'm hurt. I'm butt hurt. When you're a kid and you're not a professional, all right, he was immature. If I pay you $10 million, we get your ass up there on that stage.
And they are, the playbook is going. Nico's leaving. Now they're releasing all of the dirt that they had on him, of course. But there is the credence to that, where you, like you said, you are professional, dog. You gotta sign these. That comes with it. You see Jerry Rice and all of the legends, or you go see some of the current players, and you see them in them warehouses where they get sponsored for $5 million. Yeah, they're gonna sponsor you. We have a warehouse of memorabilia that you have to sign. We have 50,000 fans that you have to meet every year.
Right.
That's what you have to do.
So part of your job.
If you're not willing to do it, you gotta, hey bro, this what y'all wanted. There's give and take on each side. Give and take on each side.
Yeah. With the more autonomy, yeah, comes heavy as the head. You got the responsibility, big dog.
Yep. But we'll follow this because I think this, like I said, this is a turning point. I think it's the fork in the road for the NCAA.
If P-Trey goes somewhere and wins, then this is not nearly as big of a deal. I mean, not P-Trey. I'm a leaver. If I'm ahead of myself, if he goes somewhere and wins, this will be forgotten. Now, I did also hear that because
he's gonna go to Oregon. Oregon reported it, and now he's one of the top 3: Oregon, Ohio State, and North Carolina.
No, you don't. No. North Carolina is out. Bill Belichick, they said no.
Well, maybe it's Colorado. I think Colorado.
That's what I was about to say. Boy, if Deion gets I'm a leaver and makes him I'm a winner,
But he got Julian though. I don't know if you can do that with Julian there. Julian about to start. He's the starter, I think. Tennessee
that is a good problem for Deion to have. I think that would take him to 3 quarterbacks because you got the other kid too. Let me tell you. You need a quarterback, Deion, and that's what I said. Replacing Shedeur is going to be his biggest feat.
It'll be interesting, and I think that'll also all of those players that you talking about. If one of them decides to leave, there was one school that was in the top 5 for all of them. That was Georgia. What does Georgia need?
And that's the other part is I can always go to Georgia and they gonna take me.
Yeah, especially Julian. He from Carrollton. Yeah, come on. We how much you need?
Right.
Listen, we'll pay you. And Georgia, I think this may be I think it might have been an April Fool's joke, but they are working with Uber. They are working with Uber. Bro, so I can keep y'all out of trouble.
They need to take them licenses. Just don't know. You ain't had no license. Bro, you can't drive nowhere. It's like Hampton. Don't even bring your car to campus. Don't bring it. Don't leave it at home. You're not allowed. Coach, I'm a senior. No, you still can't drive. Walk only.
Back to the NFL. Jalen Petrie got extended. He's the slot corner for the Houston Texans. I believe he got $40 million. Which is, I think, a high for nickelback, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So shout out to Jalen Petrie. Texans always seem to always make the right moves. I think the Laramie Tunsil trade might hurt him a little bit.
That's what I see as a strategy here is we have our biggest asset, Laramie Tunsil. We can't pay all these guys because we salary cap. They flip Laramie Tunsil into basically another draft next year. So they're going to draft damn near twice as many players. I'm going to go ahead and pay the secondary. They paid P-Trey. What was the other dude's name? I can't think about who they paid. He got paid like 2 weeks ago.
Secondary?
Yes.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley Jr. So I'm paying these guys because this is what I would have paid Laramie Tunsil. And I'm going to have to draft well this year. And then next year, I'll give myself several cracks at trying to replace Laramie Tunsil. There's only so much money to go around. So I see what they're doing. We've identified guys who we like. Next up, I think to be paid is probably Will Anderson. Go ahead and get him while you can get him. Yeah, because he is it. You already paid.
I think they already paid Daniel Hunter too.
I was about to say, yep, you paid him already. And if you can say you have 3 solid defensive backs, and then two really good ends, you can kind of put filler in the middle, but you won't get beat deep. And you're going to have a hell of a pass rush no matter what with those guys that you've already paid. Now you just got to keep drafting.
They're set up defensively. They're set up. They got to rebuild that offensive line a little bit. CJ was running for his life a little bit at the end. I think that was their weakness. But and of course, they're probably gonna now. They talking about getting Isaiah Bond at the slot because Tank Dell keep getting hurt, and Isaiah Bond ran a 4.29. So you go from ultra fast to super fast,
right,
which is fine. But they are set up if they with all these draft picks. If they can get an offensive line, which is what our tool, y'all gonna be mad, but they're gonna be right back. They're gonna be right back. They're gonna be right back.
And where Tunsil went to Chicago?
No.
He went to the Commanders.
Yeah.
You also kind of looking like, you think the Eagles still gonna be better than them. You really praying for the fall off is what you're really playing for. And you're probably expecting a sophomore slump, which really makes it where you can.
Who are you talking about?
The Washington Commanders, where Laramie Tunsil is. You think they probably have some negative regression. If they negatively regress, that draft pick next year might be a decent draft pick.
No. Laramie Tunsil being there, they're not thinking about a sophomore slump. They're thinking about the Eagles. We are trying to block these mothers.
No. Everybody. I'm talking about the Texans. The Texans are probably betting on a sophomore slump because most quarterbacks in that sophomore year negatively regress. And if you're going to get their draft picks from next year, then that's the year to get it.
Sure, I think that's a gamble because the NFC
for sure.
is super weak. The whole NFC South, Tampa Bay, you can probably say is not better than Washington. They may be close. You're probably comparable. And then you got the NFC East, which is just Philly. You don't believe in Dallas. You may believe in Dallas. I don't know. I don't think Dallas is better than Washington at this point right now. And then you also have the New York Giants, who are years away from being able to compete.
They're not anything
Washington.
Anywhere to anybody. But
so then you got the NFC North, who no quarterback, Jordan Love, the Lions, in Chicago. So that's probably your biggest. Are
we not as good as
person?
Are we not as
NFC
good as
West? We don't.
Are we not
as
good as the Commanders with Michael Penix?
Are we not as good as the Commanders? We might be defensively. I think not spiral back into the Falcons, but I think this year could be the year that we shock a lot of people.
Right, because I was going to say
winning our division. I think we could be this year's Commanders or better.
That was my thing. Is I wanted to say that are the Commanders better than the Bucks? They beat the Bucks. So I got to say at this point the Commanders are better, especially with the addition of Laramie Tunsil. But
not bad.
We with Michael Penix, I'm uncertain. I don't love that we may not be better than the Commanders, but I'm also not 100% sure if I know that or not.
We're not better than them right now because our defense is too there's too big of a question mark. We got to replace our D tackle. We got to figure out the defensive edge, even though I think we're going to stay in house for a lot of them. And then we got to figure out the cornerback situation has not been, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm very underwhelmed with re-signing D. Alford, going with Clark Phillips, re-signing Mike Hughes to run the cornerback.
Right, which means that we're probably not going
at somebody.
You really want Will from the Wolverines from Michigan. I like that.
They got us going with a DB in the second round and an edge or a D tackle in the first round. And then, but what I'm intrigued about with the Falcons in the draft is trading down. We've been linked. And of course, the draft is literally 11 days away. So it's a week away, essentially. We've been linked to trading up to the number 7 pick for Jalen Walker, to then trading down to like the number 22 or 23 and picking up a third and a fifth round pick, picking up the picks that we lost, essentially. But in both of those scenarios, they have drafting either edge or it's either edge or corner. They don't have us drafting nobody else but edge or corner the first round.
I don't think that you can because you only sent. You didn't talk to any offensive players. I think that if you do that and then go get an offensive player, you look stupid. But
I said last week when they said we brought in Kelvin Bay. I feel like the more I read about that, and this is a callback to last week when I said the Falcons sneakily interview Kelvin Banks, who's the offensive tackle from Texas. I think that was just a ploy to make everybody else think, oh, I might need to trade up for him.
Jedi mind.
I think which
set a little trap,
because right after that they talked about trade now. Right after they talked about that, we pressed stop. The next thing I posted in the group was like, hey, the Falcons talking about trading now. I was like, oh, so that's what they're talking about with Kelvin Banks. Because it didn't make any sense. So
yeah,
I don't
if you only send defensive coaches to the combine and then you draft an offensive player, what you're basically saying is everybody who we looked at, nobody was good enough. That
there's not an offensive player in this draft that I feel that. Not one.
No.
I don't know of any surefire player on offense in this draft. Not one. That means that player that you drafted is surefire. That's something you don't even have to evaluate.
Cannot miss.
I don't see anybody in that league. In that on defense, you may have a couple.
Banks has to basically be Joe Alt for that to be okay.
Which I can't. And if you, the only way I'd be cool with that is if we trade. If he fell and we traded down.
Now, if he's Joe Alt, then it's like when you get Bijan, I'm gonna shut up. Well, shut up. I'm gonna just have to shut up, and I'm okay with sometimes. I'd rather be happy and silent than upset. And, yeah.
Well, we come to the end of episode 186. We got a couple quick things. Shout out to Patrick Peterson. He retired. He said he feels he could play. His statement was, I feel like I could play. I've done everything in football. I just don't want to play anymore. I feel you, big dog. I don't know if you can still play. But I do congratulate you on a wonderful football career. This is my sister's favorite player. He hosted her on her college visit to the athletic thing with my dad and my mom at Baton Rouge and at LSU. He's the man at Alabama.
Oh, and and still to this day, Mr. LSU. Like he's the guy. So, and I think that he could have played in a defense where he's not having to be the man.
Safety.
Yeah.
He could have Charles Woodson this out.
But bro,
he just said, I don't want to play no more.
I also understand as a person who's gone to many a football practice, I don't want to go back to football practice.
Yeah, if I can just show up on maybe Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, little short shoulder pad, little install,
right,
a little walkthrough, and then play, I'm good. I got to go to summer camp 2 days, be away from my family for 4 months.
I don't know if I even want to eat like that and do to be in football shape is a lot of personal work. Do it for a long time, you won't be done with it.
Yep. And shout out to Dwight Freeney and Max Crosby. Dwight Freeney returns to his alma mater as the Syracuse player in a Syracuse player development role. Max Crosby as the assistant GM. As we told you, they are going to the semi-pro model, which is why I think legislation is coming down. When I say legislation, not from the Senate or anything, but from the powers that be in the NCAA, that these schools with the NIL and everything are adding these players for, I would say, expertise, but also to be mascots. You're seeing more and more players going to be the assistant GM, figurehead, be those guys for that. We talked about it in basketball. I think Terrence Mann is at Florida State. You have a lot of it going with football. So shout out to Max Crosby.
Professional ambassador. GM was that
and
really
it's also getting them in the door for after playing.
Man, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't see Trey wanting to do that. I don't really see Terrence Mann necessarily want to do that, or Max Crosby. I think for them, They all, number one, they all love their organization. And it's a way for them to kind of be at the forefront. And yeah, Max Crosby went to Eastern Michigan. If not Max Crosby, then who? Same thing with Trey. If not Trey at Oklahoma basketball, then who? Now, Terrence Mann, FSU actually got a bunch of guys. And they all the same size. And they all can play defense and offense. But I just think that's what it is. It's a way for you. Hey, y'all want me to be the assistant GM at Hampton? I'll do it.
Is this real?
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 186. Y'all can stay and BS with y'all. If you're listening to the playback and the recording, Norwood, you can take us out. But this I have to research this, but Trump just said a tweet about women voting. And it has to be fake. It has to be fake.
No, I mean, he said other thing about women before. We thought that probably crazy to say, but he said it. So cool.
I can't confirm if it's real, so I'm not gonna read it out loud.
We don't support that on our platform in the first place. But if he was wild and tripping, then he was wild and tripping.
Oh my God. He was wild and tripping if he said this.
Good.
He is tripping.
I hope he said it. And I hope that JD Vance retweeted it. And best of luck. With that being said, because I'm trying to get to it so fast. No, I'm looking. I mean, yeah, I want to jump him too. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I don't see it. I don't see anything inflammatory.
I just put it in a group. You can read it after we finish.
With that being said, ladies, hey, we got to be abreast of what's going on around here. You got to pay attention. Keep head on a swivel. With that being said, number one. Bravos win tonight. Mo Black baseball. Mo Black baseball. Bravos win. We win. You win. We win together. And we need to keep winning. I think that takes us to 5-11, which is better than 4-11. With that being said, number two, more Black Cowboys and Cowgirls. Y'all have actually listened, and there are a ton of Black Cowboys and Cowgirls everywhere, and now everybody does a trail ride. So I'd like to thank myself. Without me, none of this would have been possible. I'm sure. Who said it first? Well, I sound like my cousin Ray J.
Huh? You do. Sound like every Black uncle at the barbershop.
I am every Black uncle at every barbershop because I'm America's favorite uncle. Number three, the historically Black college university that your cousin went to, your auntie went to, you went to, the person used to laugh, Kiki in the back of church, send some money over there. The historically Black college university in your neighborhood. The one that you go to for homecoming, step shows, vibes, be around your people, whatever it is, send some money over there as well. The greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. All we asking for is $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. Thank you so much. That university being the Hampton University. Want to make sure you heard it. And also, before I get out of here, Brett Favre, they finna release a movie or something on him, a tell-all. How about you pay that money, Brett? Every time I see Brett Favre posted on any social media, I write under there, pay that money, Brett. Pay them people in Mississippi, they need that money. And Tennessee and North Carolina, pay them HBCUs. And that's all I got to say. And that's that on that. How about that?
I'm about to say, cool. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend. Y'all make sure y'all tune in with us every Monday at 9 o'clock. We got the NFL draft coming up, and we should have a mock draft next week.
Or 20.
If I'm not mistaken. Ooh, next Sunday.
Correct, Mundo.
Next Sunday, we will have the mock draft. You pick the date.
Right. I mean, yeah. For me, but yes, that will happen. Outside of that, thank you guys for rocking with us. Adios, mi amigos. God is love. Until we meet again, y'all be safe.
Peace.